What's going on, babe?
Hey, babe, how was your day?
It was actually pretty productive. Happy to be home.
Good. You know, we got a game today. Honey, a little rough around the edges.
I'm saying, I've been working all night, taking care of business, getting to the... You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I got you. I'm not trying to be out here looking like a dusty, and that's why I'm excited to have T. Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. They help me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which come with all of the basics: a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My favorite part about Teach Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teach Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price and the ability to customize your box. And because Teach Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description. You'll get 30% off your first box plus a free gift. Click the link and get started today. We're taking care of ourselves. Self-care, fellas, is the first step to be able to get to that bag, to take care of business, and be on top of things and level up in every aspect of your life. Feel the Teach, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Happy to be home. You know, a lot of people don't know, but home is definitely where the heart is. I see a lot of people, just grab the roly. I see a lot of people in society, as you coach a lot of people and you have a lot of conversations, you have different people and they give you their sentiment about what it's like to go home. For me, it's awesome. I love going home. I love being home. I think that I've created an oasis around me. And I'm not even talking about the place that I live at. I'm talking about the people that I surround myself with. Home is phenomenal. When I got home, flew back in from OKC yesterday, and I got home, and my wife and my daughter is just like waiting there like little puppies for me to walk in the door. And as a man, I think that that's one of the most beautiful things ever, is the admiration and love that you get, the genuine love. It's not even something that they try to do. It's something that they inherently are. The genuine love that you get from the people that you work so hard for. You know, I do it for my bag chasers. I do it for my daughter. I do it for my wife. I do it for her mother, right? We make sure that we take care of and support her mother, my mother. Different employees and people. When I was in a hospital yesterday, I'll give y'all an update on that. I already dropped a video on another channel. And I talked about it on Instagram yesterday, but I flew in yesterday from Oklahoma City. Shout out to Oklahoma City. Lots of swingers. Dropped that video yesterday. Ugh. Oklahoma City, y'all got a lit city. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the lifestyle, but I got to document the journey so that I can make sure that we have these conversations. But I flew in from Oklahoma City yesterday and jumped in the Benzo on my way to the Enzo. Jumped in the Benz, headed to the crib, made a stop along the way, came in, chilled with my daughter, all of that or whatever. But over the last few days, I would say a little bit longer than that, maybe the last few days, I have been having chest pains or whatever. And so, you know, us men, we don't really talk about that type of thing. We tend to keep that to ourselves because we're men, right? And we just wait for or hope that it passes or it goes away and things like that. But we need to be a little bit more forthcoming when we're having issues, especially with the people that got our best interests at heart. But for me, it's the fear of slowing down. If we just being absolutely transparent, it's the fear of slowing down that prevents me often at times from always doing what's in my best interest. And that's a flaw that I'm going to have to remedy and solve for. But I digress. So, because Rita is my best friend first, before she's my wife, before any of that other stuff, I had the conversation and we kicking it, and she was like, what you want to eat and all of that, and going through and, just getting things normalized. As soon as I walk in, she unpacks my luggage. It's pretty crazy how much, this chick is adoring me, right? So she grabbed my luggage, she unpacked it, she packed it, and then she unpacked it. And then she's like, so what do you want to eat or whatever? And I'm like, I'm thinking about to go, we can just go out as a family or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, my chest is hurting a little bit. This is right after I had took a nap and got up and everything. And she's like, all right, cool. She didn't even say nothing. She was like, all right, cool. So where you want to go? You want to go out to eat first? You want to go straight to the hospital? Knowing that she had already made the decision that we was going to go to the hospital and she was going to fight that fight and die on that sword, right? So go to the hospital. They do the EKG. They do the X-rays. They draw blood, do all of the blood work and everything. And thank God. God bless America. We have a phenomenal healthcare system. Thank you all the nurses and doctors and everything like that. But thank God everything came back normal. They said that it seems that I had some sleep deprivation that I have to work on. I'm actively working on that. Right? I've always had the idea that I'd rather have to pull back than be motivated to do. I'd rather have to pull back and say, Anton, you need more sleep because you're overworking than being overly lazy. So I've always had that philosophy, but there was like sleep deprivation. You seem dehydrated. So they hooked me up to an IV. They checked all of my stuff, double checked it. And then they got me up out of there. And then we was late night live streaming last night. So more sleep deprivation. No, I'm just playing. I did get a decent amount of sleep this morning, but I do want to take an opportunity to, before I do the housekeeping, just thank people. Because I try to keep people updated, and I've largely lived my life like an open book for an extended period of time. I just want to thank you guys for always holding me down, always pushing me, always ensuring that things go well, and you check on me. I mean, I had the minute that I even said anything, not only did my mom and my brothers and all of that other type of stuff, but the people that's closest to me. And when I say closest, the family that I built here on YouTube and the Patreon with the Bag Chasers, all of the people that I coach, I've developed personal relationships with you guys. So when you heard anything about me whatsoever, and y'all start talking to each other before I even said anything, y'all was calling me. Q calling me, Yvette checking on me. Everybody was checking on me like, Anton, you good? Everything fine? Whatever. Hold on. You make sure. Let me talk to Rita. Y'all are dope. There's nothing more there's nothing greater than having a community of people that is going in the direction that you going in. And I'm going to just tell you, I've never truly had that in my life, and that, completely divesting and then embracing a community of people that some of them you just met. Some of them you just met when you flew to their cities. Others you've developed a relationship because they've been rocking with you for an extended period of time. And then they just like, yo, we family, and we all just have a genuine interest in seeing each other be successful. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that in their own family. I would venture to say most people don't have a community within their own family, their own neighborhood. Not even the people that they call best friends love them as much as you love me and I love you. I would venture to say that there's a group of people, us, that are super, super interconnected with each other and ensuring that we are embracing, holding up, helping, promoting, pushing, holding accountable. You don't have that anywhere else. You don't. People are fair weather friends. Your family is only looking to get what they can get out of you. Most people don't have the connections that we have. So I just want to start this show off on Monday. I never want to forego an opportunity to say, I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I truly, truly love you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you for holding me down and pushing me to be the best version of myself as I continue to pour into you. So, with that being said, let's just get the housekeeping out of the way. Shout out to Tej Hanley, sponsor of the stream. Always hold me down. We got a new sponsor tomorrow. Tej Hanley's still going to be the sponsor, but we got an additional sponsor tomorrow because I have to mine through the opportunities to make sure that I'm genuinely using the products that I advocate for, because I would never give you something that I'm not doing myself. Tej Hanley, 30% off your first order, plus a free gift, uncomplicated skincare. Make sure you tap the link in the description to make sure that you got your Tej pack, all right? Secondly, let me give a shout out to the bag chasers. We have a meeting tomorrow, live streaming part 4. Tomorrow afternoon, we will be live streaming part 4 of building a business from the ground up, in which you guys have already selected the location. You selected the type of business. You've already put together the budget, over $100,000 that you're spending of my money in order to teach yourself how to go about building a brick and mortar on your own, which includes all of the other things like e-commerce, applications, so on and so forth. So thank you guys for continuing to allow me to pour into you. And then obviously you guys have my back. Shout out to the bag chasers. Link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I love you guys and thank you for holding me down. Now, let me get to some of these super chats. Yvette says, thank you so much for your Patreon. I was able to connect with Luis. He's phenomenal. Community. See, people think that my Patreon is just me. And as awesome as that is, it is a community and a group of people that continue to push and hold each other down. Shout out to Luis. Yvette, I love you. Thank you for the fireball. Continuing to hold down the platform. Matt G says, hey, Anton, glad to see you doing better. You should look into Liquid IV. It's an electrolyte supplement that comes in a small packet. All you need is a bottle, a water bottle, and you pour it in. Rita, write that down. Liquid IV. You wrote it down already? Flex Appeal says, very thankful. The legend is back. I never went nowhere, big dog. Also, Anton, stop being stubborn and get on that sea moss. Sea moss. Why do I keep hearing about sea moss? Not Irish moss or Irish sea moss. Sea moss. Welcome home. I'm glad to be home. Shout out to Renee. Renee be holding me down too. Says she care about me. Renee be on me. Shout out to Renee. I love you, Renee. I love all of my bag chasers. Thank you to everybody that continue to hold me down. I do want to get into this conversation, but today we're going to do a little bit different because I like to remix it a little bit. So when I have this conversation, because I gleaned this from being on the panel and joining in a conversation yesterday with the Lapeef Let's Talk show. Well, not Lapeef Let's Talk show. The Lapeef Network, where JR does this thing called Lapeefing on Sundays, right? But we were having this conversation and we were having it, and it piqued my interest because I usually don't jump on the panel on the weekends because I have so much going on myself and I like to extend the platform to other people. But I had been having this conversation for well over 2 years now about this whole R. Kelly rap culture, which has largely colored my thoughts when it comes to me saying, or when you hear me say that rap, well, not even rap, that black culture, specifically highlighting the things that we champion the most, are trash. Let me say that once again. The things that we champion and highlight the most within black culture is trash. It's absolute trash. But I want to have a different type of conversation today. So as I mine through these conversations, I want you guys to join in on me or join in with me. So I'm going to drop in the chat shortly after I start mining through this whole dialogue based off of Tank joining Drink Champs and he having a conversation about all these other things, Aaliyah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he brought up R. Kelly. Shout out to Duty, Honor, and Caffeine says, glad you're safe and home. Rita made the right call. Get some rest, my man. I'm resting. I'm relaxing. I got on my nice robe. I'm feeling good. Yeah. But I want to drop the link in the chat, right? Shortly after I have this conversation. So Again, make sure you join the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I'm going to replace that link in the top of the chat with a link for you guys to be able to join in on the panel and give me your thoughts, because I know that this is a conversation that has many, 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 many layers to it, right? Many layers to it. And there's some people that have some experiences that I don't have. So I think it's important for us to be able to have this conversation on a Monday, which is much different than what we usually do. I want to have this conversation because I think that it's going to yield a certain type of delivery, or it's going to mine through some important things that we choose not to have conversations about, and we like to sweep it under the rug on a regular until the media, Netflix or somebody promotes it, and then it becomes a thing. We're not going to wait on anybody to give us our thing before we start to have important discussions and conversations. So we're going to remix it a little bit today, right? But let me give you a little bit of preview of what it is that I experienced, right? So conversation, Tank was on Drink Champs, right? And he's giving his story and he's talking about playing basketball. And I'm going to play some of the Drink Champs, right? Shout out to the Service USA, says these likes are looking like a joke. Get them up. Get the likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Get our likes up, right? Appreciate the super chats, cash apps, everybody. If you need personal coaching, make sure you tap in with me. You can email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. All right, so, but Tank was on Drink Champs, and he brought up R. Kelly. Now, one of the things that he said was that Tyrese, and I don't know if this was just him being transparent or him throwing Tyrese under the bus, but he said that Tyrese was the biggest R. Kelly fan ever. I mean, like, jockstrap R. Kelly. He's my idol, R. Kelly. R. Kelly is the god of all gods. He is Zeus, Thanos, and a celestial. This is what Tank said. I'm trying to paraphrase because I want to get y'all up on the panel sooner rather than later, right? But he goes into this whole thing, and before I even finished playing it, I said, you know what? It seems like he's about to deep dive into this whole R. Kelly topic. So I want to save it, right? He wants to go into Robert Kelly. Now, I know that it's some people that feel a certain type of way about Robert Kelly, but they won't talk about it, right? They won't talk about it because they don't want to be judged by you. There's a demographic of people that adore R. Kelly no matter what happens. And then there's a demographic of people that despise R. Kelly because the medium told them to, right? But R. Kelly isn't the only one. He isn't. He isn't the only one. The hip hop culture and community, who I've often at times called the worst for the black community, have been doing the same things and espousing the same narrative and putting in their music the same things that you are now just discovering that R. Kelly has been talking about for an extended period of time and living a life, keeping it real, as they say. So again, let's go ahead and deep dive into this Drink Champs episode. And let's start to play a little bit of what Tank was saying when it came to R. Kelly. Now, I don't know if I need to backtrack a little bit, so let's just keep the mark. I'm going to backtrack to the 50 mark, 113. Remember, 113.32.
Crazy. All right,
That's a lot of information right there, which we'll talk later.
Otis Redding or Sam Cooke?
All right,
Sam Cooke.
let me fast forward a little bit.
Stevie Wonder or Luther Vandross? And you look at it.
Sometimes he can see. Time is sitting next to you on the keyboard and saying, I know all of your songs.
All right, let me fast forward a little bit.
The ability to visualize.
Erica
Badu.
You got her pussy incense?
All right, so here we go.
No addition.
So,
We just take a shot to Jodeci?
All right, here we go. This is when he first brought him up.
Anybody else want
they ain't
a
even
Jodeci shot?
Yeah, this is a Jodeci shot.
Yeah.
Tank can't wait to sing. Now watch this, Rita.
So that was my makeup when I would go to churches all over the DMV. They'd be like, you sound like a gospel Jodeci. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You sound like a gospel Jodeci or R. Kelly. Like, you just got,
Woo, R. Kelly?
You see how the room got a little uncomfortable when he mentioned R. Kelly, though? The room got a little bit more uncomfortable when he mentioned R&B Kales. But he said that people used to say he sound like a gospel Jodeci or a gospel R. Kelly when he used to travel to these churches and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's
Rob. R. Kelly.
Oh, you call him Rob.
R. Kelly.
He said Rob.
Robert Kelly.
Hey, you know you messed up in life when your name gets brought up and people pause. When your name get brought up and people pause, you know that it's a completely different narrative that's being spewed right now.
Blueprint.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Right.
But there's absolutely no way that
Let me fast forward a little bit.
I can dig into my musical DNA
And not
and strip away
Right.
Jodeci and R. Kelly and Brian McKnight and Babyface.
So he's giving you the foundation of his love and adoration for R. Kelly, right? He's saying that, yo, I wouldn't be who I am today without the influence and the impact of such great songwriting and a phenomenal catalog that R. Kelly has produced. He goes on to say how he used to play basketball with R. Kelly, how he met him through Tyrese. He goes into a deep dive because I'm not going to play the whole freaking hour plus long interview, right? Shout out to Rhonda Mack. Rhonda Mack says, Anton, glad to hear you well. Please get enough rest. You are very much needed. Rita, much love and respect to you. I love the way you take care of your husband. Thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate you for holding me down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. So, I already see people in the chat saying R. Kelly is the GOAT. Cool. I want to be objective. I want to have a genuine conversation with people that are on the left or on the right of this whole R. Kelly thing. So I'm going to go back to, 113, something like that? Let's go. Let's forward.
In spite of, you know what I mean? It's a lot connected to it that, we don't have to unpack. We get what
But
it is.
that's why I bring up the Bill Cosby thing is because.
So again, a little bit before this, Noriega brings up, yo, I still watch the Bill Cosby show. Polarizing figure. People feel a certain type of way. Bill Cosby got Me Too'd. He said, I still watch the Bill Cosby show. Tank is largely like, yeah, I still listen to R. Kelly music. He is a genius. He is a god. He is the king of R&B. I'm just giving y'all the cliff notes.
And I think you asked me earlier and I didn't know how to answer it. Saying, how do you feel when I still see the Cosby Show? The Cosby Show is still one of the greatest
It's still the Cosby
shows.
Show.
It's still the Cosby Show. And it made me feel ill, like that I could see a positive black family on there. So I don't think it takes away from that.
Right.
So if you still love R. Kelly's music,
right.
There it is.
That's something. But
It's just the thing.
Now, the question that I ask myself, right? The question that you ask yourself is, can you unsee what R. Kelly and a lot of these songs are singing about when he made the music? And it's not just R. Kelly. It's the legends of all time. Michael Jackson. A lot of people feel a certain type of way about Michael Jackson based off of the accusations that he's gotten in his lifetime. Elvis Presley. We know for a fact that Elvis Presley was dabbling with underage, to a larger extent, women. And I don't know the extent of it, so I can't necessarily speak about it. But it is rumored, and he is not here to defend himself, so I don't have any kind of way to be able to substantiate what we're talking about, but it is documented and rumored that Elvis Presley loved little girls. Right? Does the impact of the music change when you take into consideration what was being written and who it was being written about and what the inspiration was as far as how it came about and how this song manifested itself? Does it change? Does the impact change? This is largely leaning on a bit of the conversation that we was having last week with regard to B. Simone. Does greatness become diminished because of the reasons or the why Now, obviously, Martin Luther King is a completely different conversation because what he did in the movement was not inspired by any particular chick that he was busting down at the moment. Allegedly, right? But when we start having these conversations about people that are alive today, the R. Kellys, oh, we got more. We're going to mine through this a little bit more. Does it change, right? Somebody in the chat mentioned Jerry Lee Lewis. Do we undo all of the things that we have despite how great it is because of how it got here? Because when I was listening to what was happening with this whole Black Lives Matter movement and everybody was tearing down statues and stuff, right? Do you undo all of the things that came about that were good from it because of what we had to do to get there? Because of the atrocious and egregious ways in which we've built this country? Do you undo his whole catalog? Are y'all no longer listening to R. Kelly's music? Do you cut the radio off when it comes on? Do you still have his albums? And I'm not telling you should or shouldn't. Again, I'm setting the precedent to be able to invite you guys up to the panel to have the conversation. Let's continue.
Is the music what it depicts, and then knowing what the charges are.
Well, not even what the music depicts, more so what the music enabled.
Right.
The power of the music and the power period.
Right, but the sexual content, thinking that you're talking to a woman or whatever, then knowing now, that's probably where people have problem, connecting.
Yeah, I get it.
Knowing that the music is great, but then have a hard time
But at the
listening
time, while I was being inspired by it, I'm a kid. I don't know.
No, of course.
No.
But does that change things? Listen, let me say this. Here's the issue that I have, right? From a global view, from a 30,000 foot bird's eye view. Here's the issue that I have, right? Music is addictive. It is one of the most addictive things. And thank you for self-engineering. Says, if your crime or offense directly relates to what your art, gift, business is, then it definitely changes the impact. Interesting. I got questions for that. But here's the thing. Music is incredibly addictive. It subconsciously and consciously trains you to do things and move a specific type of way towards people. And then you're going to have people that say, well, I don't kill nobody. I ain't never did nothing to nobody. I ain't never hurt nobody. I ain't never did this. I ain't never did that. I'm not influenced and impacted. I'm able to separate the music from real life. But can you? Can you? Right? Let's be honest. Everything that you think, move, and feel like is influence, and it's a learned behavior. For the longest in my life, right? Snoop Dogg taught me when I was coming up early in the 90s that bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Lick on these nuts and suck the... If the homies can't have none, that's what Snoop was teaching us. Listen, don't get mad at me. The lyrics are right there. All I'm doing is stating the facts. The lyrics taught me to look at women a specific way. Now, thank God I had a strong foundation that I never departed from, and that I had a community and a church home and parents and people that poured into me and said, Anton, snap out of it. Snap out of it. I'm sorry. And R. Kelly, I'm going to go through this. R. Kelly is not listen, the way that you talk, how you look at love. Listen, them dudes in the 90s, them R&B groups, they was begging. That's why y'all simps today. That's why your daddy is a simp. Because he was listening to Shy, H-Town. Somebody coming, knocking, rocking the boots. Mint Condition, Jodeci, Boys to Men was begging. 50 Candles? Y'all don't know nothing about 50 Candles. Let me continue. Let me play a little bit more of this before I start really minding this up.
But people will see that and say, the headline, "Tank was inspired by R. Kelly," and not put it in proper context.
Right.
Every R&B singer you ever run into from then to now on will tell you, he's the guy.
Right.
You can't deny R. Kelly.
Right. How many rappers' careers if they didn't have R. Kelly on the hook?
On the hook.
R. Kelly is everybody's daddy. R. Kelly is your favorite R&B / rapper's father today.
Wouldn't be
You gotta give that.
Yeah.
If you don't give nothing else.
Yeah. That's why I brought up the Cosby Show, because the Cosby Show is just...
They tiptoeing?
It was everything
They
we
are
needed.
tiptoeing
It's funny
all
about the
around
Cosby
this
Show. Sorry to change
conversation.
the subject a little bit, but you notice no one from the Cosby Show is dissing Bill. Not one of them. It's one character that was Denise's old
Yeah,
boyfriend.
because they all was eating
That's
off
it.
of him.
But none of them are dissing Bill.
Well,
Like,
because you have to look at it like this, right? And let's say there is a monster that is Bill Cosby. Let's just say it hypothetically.
Ooh.
I guarantee you they never got to see him.
Or did they not? Because listen, I'm gonna just tell you. Let me come back off of this really quickly. Let me come off this really quickly. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Now I'm gonna drop this link in the chat, and y'all can choose to participate in the conversation or not. But I'm gonna drop this link in the chat, right? And let me tell you what I see. Shout out to Sir Shad says R. Kelly introduced the world to Aaliyah, but at what cost? At what cost did he introduce the world to Aaliyah? Would you rather have not had Aaliyah's music if you can give that girl her innocence back? And then obviously we have a butterfly effect of would she have ever been on that plane or in the music industry or in a position to where she had to subject herself to this lifestyle and overcome it, because Aaliyah never got an opportunity to tell her story. And you're talking to a person that's from Detroit, which there's a lot of people, not myself, there's a lot of people that had ties to Aaliyah. I'm just saying. Let me go ahead and get ready to drop this link in the chat, because I'm about to get real uncomfortable. It's about to get real Shabba Ranks. Please, preferably jump on camera if you can to be able to have this conversation, because I have to be careful with the people that I have having on the platform, because I want to make sure that we protect the platform, all right? Because I'm about to get real Shabba Ranks up in here with this conversation, right? But let's really put it in perspective. Let's put it in perspective. Well, hold on. Let me switch it up real quick. Make sure I got the right account. Give me a second. Bam. I'm going to pin this to the top of the chat. All right, we there now. Let's have an uncomfortable conversation. I dropped the link in the chat, so you are more than welcome to come up if you are interested in having this conversation, okay? But let me say this, right? As a person that has been listening to hip hop since my inception, I mean, I loved hip hop more than Tay Diggs did on Brown Sugar. I was the first person that was in the movie theater watching 8 Mile. I watched all the listen, my brothers are 6 and 7 years older than me, which means we was watching Beat Street, Crush Groove. I watched, I don't know if y'all familiar with this documentary called The Show. I mean, I studied it. I lived it. I breathed it. It was everything to me. Everything to me. When I go back and I listen to some of these albums, right? And I'm going to start pulling y'all up. When I go back and I listen to some of these albums, and I listen to maybe a little bit of Mace, Pastor Mason Betha. Mason Betha is Mason Betha is regularly on Clubhouse, right? And I can't play the music specifically. I can't play the music. Shout out to Sir Shad says, hey Anton, did your family know Jay Dilla family? No, I didn't know Jay Dilla's family, but everybody that was around the hip hop shop, shout out to the hip hop shop. If you know what the hip hop shop is, everybody was familiar with Jay Dilla, Slum Village, and everything, right? So battles, that was really a thing, right? But let's talk about Mace and Betha. Have y'all ever heard this song called I Need to Be? Now, this is not singular to Mace. This is not singular to Mace. How many girls I remember the first time you tried to take a chick virginity. Y'all know nothing about that? Listen. Look at the lyrics. Let me show you the lyrics. I'm going to show you the lyrics. Check this out. They was talking in the beginning. Hey, yo. Let me school you on something. What up, fam? You remember that girl that said that she was 19? Yeah, I remember that shorty. She was not 19. I followed her to school. That's how I know. Did I miss something? I'm sorry. Did I miss something? I followed her to school. Go and listen to it now and tell me that it hit the same. Go and listen to it now and tell me it hit the same. I'm just saying. Check it out. Listen to the lyrics. How many N-words I remember the first time you tried to take a girl virginity, and through the BS you lost your identity and lost your cool, cause you ain't know what to tell all your niggas at school. I had niggas making bets like, did he fuck her? Yeah. Ask her, did he touch her bra? When I say no, they say, aw. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? So tomorrow I use that pressure to undress her, but the more I caress her, more I feel like a molester. This song is on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, and Tidal right now. Am I missing something? So tomorrow I use that pressure to undress her, but the more I caress her, more I feel like a molester. So I wait for the day deserve it. But every time I go to touch it, then she say I heard it. I can't even talk sex because I sound perverted. And then she say, Mace, why we can't wait when I ain't worth it? It ain't that, but girl, you never say I go too fast. Oh, I'm seeing and I'm eating going in your ass. I guess you like that, huh? Yo, I knew the song word for word. That's how I know the melody. I know the song word for word. This is not new. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Shout out to Swagger2. Says, let's not forget about your boy Babyface. I'll pay your rent, I'll buy your clothes, I'll cook your dinner too. As soon as you get home from work, 90s R&B turned us into straight suckers. By the way, Tracy Edmonds divorced him anyway. I'm just saying, listen. See, y'all don't want to talk about it. See, now I'm the bad guy. Because I'm rehashing it. Am I the bad guy? But I'm just saying, this is normal. We was rocking these lyrics and we didn't even think nothing of it. We was just singing it. How many I remember the first time you tried to take a girl virginity. And through the bush, you lost your identity, you lost your cool, as you ain't know what to tell all your niggas at school. I had niggas making bets like, and you used to talk like mess. I had niggas making bets like, did he yet? I ask if he touched the bra when I say nah, say aw. So tomorrow use that pressure to undress her, but the more I caress her, more I feel like a molester. Did I miss something? Nah, y'all don't want to talk about. Look, I don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about it now. Shout out to King Fools. I'm about to bring y'all up King Fools. Look, impartial. If we shouldn't listen to Arbor Carely, it also means, to be fair, we shouldn't listen to watch Elvis, Sam Cooke, Seinfeld, Fergie, and Molly. We gonna have that. Let me bring up one more example, then I'm gonna bring y'all up. I got a ton of examples. Fonzarelli. Oh, Anton and then brought up Fonzarelli. Fonzarelli. Bumble lyrics. Fonzarelli. Check it out. Hold on. Wait. Let me bring up one more. One more. Oh no. Hold on. That's not it. That's not it. Watch this. Watch this. Hold on. I gotta find an exact spot that the lyric come in. Hold on. Hold on. I found it. Check it out. I'm riding sideways, this away, that away. Check it out. Hold on. Y'all want to talk about this part. I ride sideways, this way, that away. I'm playing this game because a nigga my HB. I met her last night and today she paged me. Want to know if B legit can kick it tonight. Only 16, way too tight. But age ain't nothing but a number. Baby got her hair done by Shonda. 9, 10, 11 and up. If you bleed, you get fucked. Wait. What did you say again? Run that by me one more 10. Want to know if be legit, because they was going back and forth. You know how you go back and forth? You know how they go back and forth? Want to know if be legit can kick it tonight. Only 16, way too tight. And then E40 come in. But age ain't nothing but a number. Baby got her hair done by Shonda 9, 10, 11 and up. If you bleed, you get fucked. I said, yo, that was the best part of the song. Listen, on a melody, that was the best part of the song. Listen, don't sit here and tell me that Anton ain't talking that talk. I put on the best show on the internet because I'm real. Think about it. Real Doable says the community was cool with it way before it was cool to put it in songs. Let's have that conversation. Yes, that's what the lyrics say, word for word. I dropped some CMOS links in the email and IG. Oh, thank you, Flex Appeal. I appreciate you, fam. We just gonna sleep this under the rug? 9, 10, 11, and okay. All right. Let me go ahead and play the song. Because y'all don't believe me. I'm gonna bring y'all up. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring up my dog Bolo TV. What's going on, Bolo?
Yo, man, this is crazy. This is
Am I
crazy.
off? Am I off?
Nah, brother, you on like a sniper. It's crazy because cats. When you really start going into the breakdown, there's another cat you forgot, Juice World.
No, I got a ton of them. Bro, I have
Ah,
so many breakdowns. This is normal. Listen, bro. This is so normal. Let me put a bunch of them up here. This is so normal that cuz see people went in on Kales. But this is so normal that people literally still go up to the high schools, the dudes that's not even supposed to be in school, they go up to the high schools to pick off the little girls that's getting out of school, the high schools and the middle schools, bro. This ain't new.
this ain't new. You know what it is, man. It's this is why and again, I hate to make this a biblical thing, but this is why Satan uses music because music gets into every home.
Mm,
There's no home that music
mm.
isn't in.
Talk about it.
There's no home that music isn't in. And he doesn't just go through hip hop, but hip hop and R&B is a big mainstream hitter because what we have to understand is you brought up a very good point, right? That music, the subconscious, it programs the subconscious. There's a lot of times where you might hate a song, but if you hear it enough on the record, on the radio, you start to like it. Or later in the evening, you
Yep.
start humming it. Subliminally and subconsciously, your mind picks up this music and it's working it out into your DNA. It becomes a part of your DNA. So you have to understand if you hang out with 11 broke people, sooner or later you become the 12th. So when you start getting desensitized to this music, when you start hearing the lyrics that you just read and you start understanding it and you start playing it, it molds into your spirit. It puts out a vibration. We need to understand that. This is why in the military they put out a military cadence.
Yep.
This is why in the military there's certain music that they put out. It puts a vibration. It puts you in a thought process. This is why when you want to get with a chick, you put on them R&B songs.
Yep.
All of these things matter. All of these things set an aura. All of these things set a vibration that puts you in that mood. Because I guarantee if you're trying to grab a chick, you ain't playing 50 Cent.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that we're mindful, not only what we put in our bodies physically, but what we put in our bodies spiritually. You are
They don't
so
want to
on
have that
point.
conversation because they think that they can do what they want to do and it's not going to affect them. I can listen to what I want to listen to and it don't matter because it's not going to affect me. This is what people say.
Those are people that are not keeping it. Those are people that are not being 100%. And that's why people that do keep it 100 are the ones that are hated. Because there's no impartiality to it. You'll sit there, if you bring out a point and it's true, yeah, you're right. When you sit there and you look at the R. Kelly music and then you understand the whole story behind it, how it was inspired, it's supposed to give you a different outlook on that song. Now that you understand the inspiration behind it, you're supposed to understand it. You know, Hotel California, when you understand the inspiration behind that song and how it talks demonic worship and devil worship, it's supposed to give you a thought process that's different because now you are in the darkness. Now you're in the light. It should not hit you the same way. And
Yep.
if it does, you need to look in that mirror.
What's going on, big dog? What's going on, Kev? How you feel,
What's
bro?
popping, bro? How you doing?
Did I uncover something that people not paying attention to, or am I off?
You know what's crazy? I'm from the Bay, bro, and I'm only like 3 years younger than you. So I remember when that album came out.
You never thought about it, did you?
Nope. And you know what's crazy? It came out when I was in 4th grade. And when I heard that part, I'd be like, he fucking around. He not serious. You know what I'm saying?
They broke it all the way down too.
Yeah.
He like, yo, she told me she's 19. Yo, and then after, yo, I don't want to wait. Molester. I feel like a molester, but I'm eating your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That
Like,
E40 shit especially fucked me up because that's one of my
what,
favorite rappers.
you talking about today or just?
Well, just in general because, you know, I'm from the Bay, so that was one of my favorite rappers, him and Too Short.
You
feel
never
me?
even thought about it though.
Nah, bro. Because like I said, I was in 4th grade when it came out.
I hope I ain't start nothing.
Nah,
Now
you didn't.
talk the truth, man. This needed to come out. You know, even when you listen to R&B, she was only 16 years old.
Yes, bro. I have countless examples.
I could
Countless
imagine.
examples, bro. Like, this is normal. And so we talk about the violence, right? People will forego violence. Yo, I don't care. People die every day, B. It's not that big of a deal. It's in our movies. We've sensationalized it. We normalize it. It's not that big of a deal, right? But see, when you start talking about the little girls.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We need to, as parents, we need to start filtering what goes in the home, what goes into our children's minds as they're young. Because this is why music is so dangerous. It can be inspiring. Definitely it can. But the same
But I
thing
want to
that can
I just wanted to tap in, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just want to tap in real quick before I hit the gym. And I'm glad to see you doing good. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm doing well, my friend. Thank you for tapping in, bro.
All right, bro.
Link is in
Cool.
the chat if anybody want to come up. Thanks, fam.
brother,
Yeah,
you
go
were
ahead,
sick.
Bolo.
What was wrong, bro? You were sick?
No, bro, my chest was hurting, but I went to the hospital, got everything
What?
checked out. They said it was sleep deprivation, and I needed to drink more water. My heart was good and everything, though. So,
What I'm going to tell you, man, and this is real talk. As content creators and as people that are pushing the word of God and trying to make this a better world for our children than we found it, you got to take care of yourself. I had to
yeah,
take
I
a week.
agree.
You got to take care of yourself, man. You're too important to the movement. You're too important because if you are no good to yourself, you're no good to nobody else. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
When
agree.
it's music, we need to start understanding what's going on. This is why I continuously listen. And my children aren't children anymore, but I got grandkids.
Yeah,
So You have to listen to this music. Hell, you got to watch the television shows.
I agree.
I saw Smurf one day praying in a pentagram. I said, Papa Smurf, crazy, man. If you are not aware, make yourself aware.
Well, listen,
Because
look, check this out. Berg Boy says, remember in hot middle school, older cats was coming to pick up the girls that looked grown and nobody batted an eye.
yep,
Same girls are mentally destroyed now.
yep. And then we gotta start taking accountability, man. We gotta start
You
the
know that
men.
ain't gonna happen, Bolo.
Well, brother, listen. This is what I'm gonna say, and we echo this all the time. You and I. This is not for everybody. Everyone ain't gonna be saved.
Yeah.
Know that. But for those that can be, those are the sheep, and those are the names that the Lord is calling. So with that, man, I love you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. Well, thank you for allowing me to come up, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Check out this lyric, y'all. Big. You know I like it young, fresh and green, no hair in between. You know what I mean? Wait, listen. Listen. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I off on? What's going on, D-Dan?
What's going on, player? Good morning to you, man.
Chilling, my friend.
I'm glad you recovered, man, in the hospital. I kind of snipped up and what I'm saying, saw that, heard you talking about it, so
Yeah,
glad
absolutely.
you're in good health and spirit. So
Thank you, my
keep
friend.
it that way. Hey, I had to chime in because you got damn player, like
I
damn boy.
brought something
Hey,
to your
it's a lot of
attention
shit.
that you
Hey,
didn't
listen,
even
I'm gonna be honest
realize.
with you. It's a lot of shit on. It's certain shit I don't agree with you on, but boy, this one you own something with this one. I gotta give you credit due, because it's like when you listen to certain music, and it's not just rap and R&B, other groups of music,
Yeah.
and you know how you bump in the lyrics, the lyrics and shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you skip over certain parts, you won't think none of it. Like,
yeah, because it's just. But see, that's the thing about melody. See, if I come to you and I say, "Yeah, I'm a bro," say something to me again, and I'll beat your ass. It's different if I say, "Cause I was over there kicking and I beat that ass." It's a whole nother.
yeah,
It's
it's like they slipped
hypnotic.
the little part in. You like, whoa,
It's
because
hypnotic. And so people say things and they see things and they don't realize how powerful your words are. Like the power of death and life, like the ability to take life and give life, it can rest in the tongue.
yeah, that's
What's
true.
up, Erica?
That's
How you
true.
doing, love?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. What's your thoughts?
I'm actually, so I'm a huge music fan. My father was a musician. He played for quite a few bands, things like that. And so music has been like ingrained in my life
Mm-hmm.
since before I dropped out of my mom's womb. Um, and it's just really kind of discouraging, especially when I see like the bulk of like Kel supporters are women. Like it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what he did, I'm still going to support him. But then when it's set up there and say that they want to be protected, you know, it's like, how are we going to protect ourselves if you're not willing to
I think you
take a
on to
step
something,
back from what
Erica.
you want and desire?
I think you on to something,
Hey,
Erica.
look, let me chime in on that one. I just thought about that too, because I'm looking at the title, what you titled the video of. No, I'm in Chicago. My whole family grew up in Chicago. My whole life, even my granddad, when he migrated here, he was he came here in the early 1940s. So he was actually put a lot of he put people on like Muddy Waters and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and the blues singer. So they just adopted him in the Hall of Fame about 2-3 years ago. But anyway, it was a lot of stories that a lot of people, I'm 29, so a lot of people, so it was a lot of stories in my family. A lot of the men in my family used to talk about R. Kelly, like, man, listen, man, we don't fuck with that nigga, blah,
Mm.
blah, blah. This is the shit that's been going on in the cities, how he was pulling up in grammar
This ain't
schools
new.
all day.
Bro,
But
everybody in
then the same,
Detroit, because I'm from Detroit, everybody in Detroit knew how old Aaliyah was.
yeah, but then here was the thing, though. Here was the thing, though, right? And the women in my family, they also said this too, and a lot of older kids were saying this too, like how the mothers were selling their daughters off to them.
Yep.
Now that's a conversation. Now Kim Fox, the state's attorney here in Cook County, That's why his cases was withdraw, because Kim Fox wasn't just gonna go after R. Kelly. She was gonna go after the families because hey,
Here's the question though. Here's the question though. Do we, and I'm asking it subjectively in both of your opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we justify who we rock with based off of who we like? And that, because see, in my opinion, it's so much of it, right? It's ingrained in hip hop culture, it's ingrained in country, it's ingrained in R&B. Since
everywhere,
the beginning of
everywhere.
time, these people have been doing it, and it's not even just black music or whatever, nothing like that, right? How do we pick and choose who we rock with and who we don't? Because cancel culture only attacks when it becomes a popular narrative, right? How do we pick and choose? And here's the second part of that question. Do we do it because it's a part of who we really are, right? I can't say, okay, I've seen a lot of guys coming up to the high school, and that's a lot of guys, which means that some of those same dudes that was going up to high school could possibly be watching right now, listening to me talk about it, right? I can't say, oh, okay, this and that, when that's literally the norm, because over the last year or so, I've had conversations, and I've had people in the comments come up and say stuff to me, write emails, send me DMs. Anton, you off on that. Listen, this is normal. If a chick is 14, 15, if she bleed, that's normal. Do we endure through it because that's a normal part of who we are in our cultures, and not just black culture, all across? Do we embrace it because that's just normal, is what I'm asking.
Well, I think one of the things I think is that, like, especially as a black culture, we haven't really set our own code. We're going off of like the fact that everybody's bringing up Elvis Presley and Jerry Lee Lewis. Like, that's what they do on their culture and what they do in their community. Like, we need to set boundaries within our own community, because, you know, what they do over there has nothing to do with me. But when it comes into my house, then I make the say so, or my husband makes the say so, and then I back him up.
Let me ask you a question,
whatever.
Erica, because a lot of what
sir.
we see happening today is largely influenced by the things that's happened in other cultures also in yesteryear, right?
That's true.
Rock and roll, which largely is based off of the historical significance that I've researched, was started by black people.
True.
Yeah.
But then it was corrupted. I was about to say it was corrupted by.
Okay, well then talk about hip hop, right? Let's move over there, because we want to keep it within your household, right? And I'm assuming that you've listened to some hip hop in your lifetime, or R&B. All of these R&B artists are children of Michael Jackson and R. Kelly.
True.
They're all influenced by, impacted by, and move based off of what happened from the people that came before them. How do we justify who our heroes are? Because nobody is going to go against Michael Jackson. Listen, ain't nobody canceling Michael Jackson. That's dead. Ain't nobody canceling Michael Jackson. We know this. How do we justify it?
Well, I made a conscious decision once I started learning more. I mean, there's a saying, once you know better, you do better. So once I started learning, I started eliminating certain things out of my life. So with Michael Jackson, we all grew up on Michael Jackson. I don't turn off the radio if it comes on, but I don't consciously go out there and seek it out now. When my daughter's in the car, there's a specific playlist that we have for her that's just like, so that she's not getting all that, but she's still getting like some older music and things like that, because I feel like she needs to have a tie to the past. But we're like very particular on the things that we allow to come into her ears, so that she doesn't get the same type of, like, my mom was listening to the Isley Brothers, and I remember like Footsteps in the Dark. I didn't know what that was about, but when I got older, I was like, wait a minute, and I was singing this.
Man, I was just about to go there too, because a lot of music that my grandparents listened to, you'd be like, whoa. I think you could hear their lyrics more clearer, because
and see,
it's a
well, let me add
soft,
this, because some people will say, well, Michael Jackson was cleared. I'm not talking about whether he was cleared or not. Some of Michael Jackson's biggest songs was written by the very same people that we're holding to the fire.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's not about Michael Jackson per se. It's about, I'm just saying, it's so many layers to it.
I want to chime in with the question that you asked. Well, here's the thing though, like, In our culture, I hate to say it, but I'm just gonna keep it 100. It is what it is.
Talk your
In
talk, big
black
dog.
culture, in black culture, a lot of that shit is hidden. We don't have an open book of pedophilia or none of that. The culture it's a little different. Just like because there's certain things that it's certain things that's us as brothers won't do. You know what I'm saying? Like we see the dude put up in high school chasing little girls and shit like that. We used to let everybody in the neighborhood know, like, hey, y'all better watch this dude, or you know what I'm saying? Because it been situations I seen in real life that somebody's daughter was fucking this grown man, and this dude got stumped the fuck out.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the whole R. Kelly situation. A lot of brothers won't rock with no R. Kelly, and then a lot of dudes in the industry didn't fuck with him either because they were saying he a fuck nigga. A lot of brothers in particular did not rock with no R. Kelly because a lot of brothers got daughters. And what's the first thing you always hear? Hey man, if I ever found out my daughter, if I ever found out he trying to get at my daughter or this particular man trying to get at my daughter, you already know what it is.
Well, let's look at this super chat, right? It says, wait a minute, y'all. Don't forget there was a time when 14, 15 was marriage age. Cultural standards changed and made it illegal. But here's the key. I can use that for any argument. I could say, why y'all mad at slave owners when at one point slavery was legal? Just because it was legal, when we start to learn
That don't
new
mean it's right.
information, it changes the conversation, right? Or am I off? And I'm just asking a
No,
question.
that's why I said when you know better, you do better. I mean, like, for whatever particular reason, they were doing that back then, but as we've gotten older, or as culture and society has gone on, things have changed. Back in the day, it was okay to if you were married, for you to beat and rape your wife, but those things have changed since going forward because they found out how detrimental it was to society.
Well, here's the key,
So,
though. We don't
yes, sir.
take that into consideration when we start tearing these statues down to the people that we don't necessarily rock with. We say, nah, I don't care how legal it was back then. It's wrong today. They start tearing the statue down and they say we need to rename this whole building and arena because we don't like that dude no more. So how do we then continue to justify it? And I'm just asking a question, right? And I also want to get you in here, J1. How do we justify who we cancel and who we don't, or who we like and who we don't? That's all I'm asking.
I won't necessarily say cancel somebody because somebody who you don't like.
I don't believe in cancel culture. I'm just talking. I'm using it as a talking point figuratively in order to try to emphasize what we're talking about in the conversation.
That's interesting.
Well, you don't support them with your money. I mean, like, once you know how they move, I mean, like, don't support them. Let them. I mean, they can exist. I mean, the same thing with racists. I'd rather know that this person over here doesn't like me, opposed to them trying to hide it and cover it up. I want to know. I want to see you in my
It's
face,
sneaky
not
from
in
the
my
man.
directly
Yeah.
in my face, but I want to be able to see you so I can identify you, so I can move away from you and go in another direction.
I feel the same. I move the same way myself. Like if I know what's to you already, but we got that respect level, you stay out of my way, I stay out of yours. That's just how I move.
A1,
I
Right. So
agree.
I'm not
what are
like
your
a.
thoughts, A1?
Okay, sorry.
Can you hear me, bro?
Yep.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, big dog?
I mean, listen, man. I'm from the '90s era, and I ain't gonna front. That is my era as far as the music and everything. And I remember being a kid and being in middle school, and there was older, like middle school and high school, and there was older cats that was there picking up chicks that were like 20 something, 20 whatever, and they was picking up chicks in high school.
Yep.
And I got a different take on it because not for nothing, like the chicks in high school, they weren't victims. They weren't unhappy. They were like, yeah, my boyfriend gonna pick me up. He got an apartment. He got, what I'm saying, car, this and third. What you gonna do for me? And now don't get me wrong, they still mess with us in school, but they were happy to mess with older dudes. So I got a different level. Like R. Kelly's a different story, and I'm not condoning none of that.
Well,
Like
why is it a
whatever
different
happened
story
with
though? What makes R. Kelly any different than the dudes that was picking up the chicks in high school? Because those
well,
girls were of the same age as the chicks that was in high school that he was rocking with.
because the simple fact is how the women felt about that situation.
What do you
What's
mean?
saying when no, well, I'm telling you, what's saying when I was in school with chicks, I would talk to regular chicks or whatever that would talk about their boyfriends that were older and this, that, and third, and they were
So how is
happy.
that any
They
different from
they
the chicks that was
no,
with R. Kelly though?
because what I'm telling you is that they were not felt like victims. They didn't feel like victims. They didn't feel like they were being abused. They didn't feel like they were being hurt. And
The girls
they were
that was
happy.
with R. Kelly
People
didn't
who have
feel that way
Stockholm
either though. It
syndrome
was
don't
the parents
necessarily
that
know
was
that
doing
they're
it
No,
about it.
victims.
no, no, no. Well, listen. I
Listen, when the
can't
parents
speak for
didn't get
every.
what they wanted, when the parents didn't get what they wanted, and
They
because
turned
they
R. Kelly
basically
in.
was advocating for R. Kelly to be with their kid, a lot of them, I'm not allegedly. And when they didn't get what they wanted, then the parents raised the big stink because the girls didn't want to come home, and they was like, "Nah, we with Kels."
Well, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, and I'm not saying for this side or that side. All I can tell you is for I seen from experience, them girls that were going with them older dudes that was picking up, they had the Lexuses, they had the coupes, they had the jewels, and they had all that other stuff or whatever. They weren't talking about they were being victimized.
Okay, so let me
They
ask you a
weren't.
question. Do you have any kid? You got
They
a
were
daughter?
happy about
Cool, I'm with it.
it. No,
Cool. So
listen.
let's assume
Now
that that's
listen.
true, right?
Now
Let me
listen.
hold on.
I'm
Let
telling you
me
right
just
now.
ask
You
you a
know what?
question. So do you have any kids?
Well, no. Well, let me get on that. It's a different story because I don't have kids, so it's different.
Mm.
Everybody I've spoken to that has kids, they be like, "Listen, it's different when you have children," and you 100% right. I don't have children,
Okay, cool. So
so
let me.
it's
Okay, so in a general sense, do you think that a 15-year-old is old enough to be able to make a decision for themselves as far as who they should and shouldn't rock with, based off of their limited experience and their limited amount of information that comes along with being a 15-year-old? They don't know any better.
well. Listen, when it comes to your physical, your body, like no one can tell you how comfortable you are with doing whatever you want to do with your body.
But your brain is
The-
still
it
developing. You're not even fully developed
you're absolutely
as
Your
a human
yeah,
prefrontal
being.
you're
cortex isn't even fully developed. It doesn't fully develop till you're
yeah,
25. So
you're absolutely right. You're 100% right on that. But not for nothing, everybody develops differently, and not for nothing, it's all about what you're comfortable with, as far as men and women. So that's the big
Okay,
debate
wait.
that we're having
So
as
let me
far
ask
as
you a question. Let me follow that up. How old how old is old
you
enough?
can't put an
Or
age.
is
You
it
can't put an
let
age
me
on
finish the
how.
question. Let me finish the question first.
All right.
How older is old enough, or is it based off of how well you're developed physically?
Listen, I know women that are 35, 40 years old that have the mind state of a 14-year-old. And I've known 14-year-old women, chicks that are saying that are way more developed as far as the mind. So you really can't gauge that in age. Like sometimes you can and sometimes you can't.
What's the minimum?
Like
Is
don't get
there
me wrong.
okay, let me ask this question. Let me ask it differently. Is there a minimum?
Okay, if you want to tell realistically the minimum, maybe I say maybe 14, 15, that range. But I grew up in an era where, listen, there was 14, 15-year-old chicks that were 25, 26, 27 in the mind. And as far
How
as
do you
sexually,
gauge
way
that?
more.
Wait. How do you know
I was
what's
just
the
about to say
stand?
so.
Wait. What is a 27-year-old's mindset is standard? Because you just said you know a 30-year-old chicks that got the mind of a 14-year-old. What is the mind of a 27-year-old and what's the mind of a 14-year-old?
It's all different. It's
So if it's
not
all
every
different, then
person
how do you standardize it? How do you say somebody that's 14 got the mind of a 27-year-old when
because
it's all
it's
different and there is no standard?
it like freaking when you're talking about people, like people have like I'm from New York. I'm from New York, Jersey area,
Hmm.
and not for nothing, you can talk you can talk to a 12-year-old freaking what's that kid, and he could be going through so many different things that a 27, 30-year-old went through as far as being in New York City, as opposed to moving to Jersey and being in the suburbs, and 11, 12-year-old is just a kid. Like it's hard to gauge that. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that young kids, young women should be protected as far as age stature, because you have to do that because you can't gauge,
How do you,
where
wait,
someone's
but you
mental
that don't make
is.
sense though. Because if you say, okay, but wait a minute, they mature enough to be able to make their own decision, and then you on the other side, you say, well, they got to be protected. It can only be one or the other. It can't be both.
If
they old enough to
all
make a
gray
decision of whether
area.
or not they want to go with a man, right? That's what you're advocating for, and that's what you're saying that you've seen.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay, not
advocating for
advocating.
anything.
If
I'm
this
just
is
telling
the
you my
thing that you're making the
experience,
argument, your
what I've
argument is based off
seen
of.
and what I've listened to. Well, I'm not arguing anything. I'm just having a conversation. I'm not gonna.
It's semantics. I'm speaking figuratively when I'm saying it. I'm not specifically saying that you're arguing on behalf. I'm not saying you're defending anything. You're just giving your experience and your thoughts, right?
Facts.
If they're old enough, based off of what you said, to make a decision and they have a mindset of a 27-year-old and they 15, how do you then on the flip side say that it makes sense for us to have to protect them when they're old enough to make the decision based off of their own maturity and growth?
Well, bottom line is anybody under the age of 18 should be protected. But when you talk about sex is the most delicate situation or thing that you can talk about as far as human beings. Now, when I'm talking about the 90s, when you're talking about R. Kelly and all this other stuff or whatever, I can remember in the 90s that these women, well, young girls or whatever, when I was going to school with, they were messing with dudes that was 10 years, 15 years older than them. And that was the norm.
I agree.
Now,
I've seen it when I was in school too.
Exactly. So that's all I'm speaking on. And they weren't upset.
Nah, I think you're speaking on a little bit more. Violated. Respectfully, I think that you're also adding into the conversation that you feel like they're mature enough. Because me personally, right? And hold on, wait. Let me finish, and then you can respond. Like, don't shake your head immediately. Just let me finish the point. You might agree, you might disagree, and I'm giving you the floor. I'm not muting you at all, right? We're just kicking it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've never personally seen a 14-year-old that have the maturity of a 27-year-old. Not one in my life. Not one. Not a guy, not a girl, not one. I've never in my life, and maybe it's just my anecdotal experience and my limited life experience, I've never in my life met a 14-year-old girl that even remotely resembled mentally the mindset of a 27-year-old woman. What do you think about that? Because you said that it's possible and that you've seen it, right?
No, I've said the other way, not the reverse.
No, you literally said that it's. Am I tweaking?
No, okay, you're not. I heard it too.
You can go back.
I heard it myself, man.
I've literally said that I've known 27, 35-year-old women that have still the mindset of a teenager.
I heard that part. You did say that. And then you also said that there's.
I didn't say the opposite. I said that there are some 14 or 15-year-old women or whatever, well, girls that are sexually more advanced and seen more stuff than I've seen at 14 or 15.
No, you said specifically the age. You said 14, 15-year-olds have the maturity and the mindset of a woman that's 27. You know that this is like we can replay this.
Well, if that's what I said, no. Not at all. Then I can honestly say that no, that's not what I meant.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is a 14, 15, 16-year-old, I've had conversations with them, and nothing. They've been with men that are however old.
How have you had a conversation with a 14, 15-year-old and they've said?
Because I was 14 and 15.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Because I was 14 and 15. And I was in the same class with them. And they would tell me their experiences that they had with all these older men, this and the third. That doesn't mean that they wouldn't rock with me still, or, you know what I'm saying, like, deal with me as a 14 to 15-year-old, but they would brag about it. You know what I mean? It's not right. It's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that, okay.
So wait. What? And then I want to also ask and get Carlos in here. What is the minimum age for a girl to be? Because at first you couldn't answer it and you said there is no age, right? It depends, and then that's when we start getting into the conversation of 35-year-olds, whatever. What's the minimum age that a girl should be able to make a decision of whether or not she want to rock with a guy?
I wanna give everybody else time and to be on here, but let me just say that I don't think that there's any age. I didn't put no age on anything like that. And not for nothing, I don't think that teenagers should be messing with adults or nothing like that. I don't advocate for any of that. All I'm
So
just saying is
what's a
that the
general
experience.
age that you would say that a woman should be able to make a decision for herself as to what a guy she would mess with? She don't have to be
I'm
young. It can be whatever age.
I am not the person to put that whatever age it's supposed to be on anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the aficionado or the
None
person
of us are.
to
That's why it's our
do.
opinion. That's why it's called an opinion.
My opinion, honestly, like when because if you want to talk about like human beings and stuff like that, all of us are ready to be able to have sex and procreate probably like 11, 12. That's not right. That's not what it is, but that's just biology if you want to talk about it. But as you talk about a woman to have consent on on her body and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
probably somewhere in the teens. I don't know the proper age, but when I
Well,
was
yeah, none
growing
of us
up,
do. I mean, it's just the idea, right? If you say Anton, it's almost like you're trying to tiptoe. Like if you don't want to answer it,
no,
you could
because
just say
I
I
don't.
don't want to answer it. But I know you got an opinion. We all do. That's just instinctively who we are, right? So if you say Anton, what is the minimum age for a person to be able to drive? I'm gonna give you my thoughts, right? I don't care about what the law says. The law is the law. We don't really like that is what it is. But when you ask me my personal opinion, I'll probably tell you, you know what? I don't really think that they mature enough to be able to drive until they 19, for example, right? So when I ask you your opinion, I'm asking you what in your experience, your life experience has taught you, whether you was in high school when experienced it or whether you was an adult and you hearing these conversations. What is your opinion of when a woman should be able to make a decision of who she wants to sleep with, regardless of how old the guy is?
Okay, Antoine. Anton, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's cool. You
We
good.
we all we all know people, and we've all seen people when they grow up. You can tell when someone's ready or not by looking at them and conversing with them. It's not necessarily an age that's a whole standard of everyone. You can tell when somebody's advanced more than another
Who can
person is
tell?
advanced.
Most people can't. Maybe you're more advanced in being able to decipher whether or not a person is mature enough. Most people can't, and that's why they need that standard, that baseline.
Yeah, but that's not really fair because what do you tell somebody? Oh, you're ready to do this, but you're not. Their friend is not ready to do this. That's not in as an individual. You can't really say that to somebody because listen, I'm a person that I wasn't. I was a late bloomer on a lot of things, so I wasn't ready to do things that people were ready to do at 13, 12. You know what I'm saying? 11. So I'm not a good person to gauge on that. So I'll let you guys do what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? I respect the channel, platform, and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
But
stick around. I
I
think this is a good conversation. I think that you're really dope, bro. Carlos, what's your thoughts?
What's up, man? Appreciate you. First and foremost, appreciate you for bringing this comment up, man. Um, my approach, man. One, I'll say this, man. About 11 years ago, that's when I started to my eyes started to get open about the music and the music industry.
How old are you now?
Now I'm 29.
Okay, so 19, 18,
Fin-
19.
yeah, finna be 30.
Okay.
Now, my whole life, I was like you, man. I ate, slept, breathed hip hop. Loved it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And right around when I got like 9 years old, my dad he became a Christian. He became a minister, and the whole house changed. You know, it wasn't no partying no more. Wasn't no just what I'm saying. Like at night, put me to bed, and it's a party in the back. After that, everything changed.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he started to tell me about, hey, you ain't gonna be able to listen to this kind of music in here and this and that, I used to be like, man, my daddy tripping, man. And we, for the longest of time, we had a distant relationship. And one of the main things was the music.
So are you talking
Uh,
about? So okay, so let me steer you here. When it comes to the things that we listened to and we took in, when you recall the E40, oh,
yeah. Used to love E40, man.
do you still look at him the same way?
No, man. No, man. I don't. honestly, me personally, if the music is talking about killing, sex, anything that ain't right, I I
Now
don't
you
look at
don't
none of
listen
it
to
personally.
it, but at
No,
the
I don't
same
listen
time,
to it.
what do you call for? Yo, y'all shouldn't even be listening. Do you have the same perspective that your father had? Now
Yeah,
trying to protect you, do you have that same
yep.
perspective when it comes to advocating against some of the things that you heard? Right, dude?
Oh yeah, yeah, man, most definitely, man. When I got into 12th grade, that's when going to the 12th grade, that's when my eyes started open. And man, I used to be at school telling everybody that went to school with me, like some people used to call me like the pastor of my school, because I used to be like, hey, man, let that music go. Like, man, this junk is trash. And that's
D,
how I felt. And
let
it's
me get I want to come to you in a minute, D Dan, but I also want to get Erica in here. Erica, what are your thoughts?
I
What,
still
no,
just,
wait, Erica. I
yes,
want to
sir.
know your honest thoughts. Because you're gonna give me that political answer. And I don't want to hear that one. I want it. This is uncensored conversation. That's what my platform is for. What are your thoughts, Erica?
In regards to
Whatever.
the the age of consent, in regards to um, young ladies, should definitely be at least 18. Um, well, for both individuals, because like I said, the prefrontal cortex is not really developed until 25. 18 is still kind of low because you got people still making stupid decisions um, at and up until 25 and
I think
beyond.
at 18 is too
Um,
low. Me personally,
Yeah.
I
So I
think
mean,
that
like
18 is too low.
they don't let you drink yeah, they don't let you drink alcohol till you're like 21, but you can sign up for the military,
Cigarettes.
smoke, do all this other, yeah, do all kind of pull out student loans, do all this like crazy stuff with your life, but like, being able to make the decision to be able to lay down and maybe make a life-changing decision because, it only takes one time for somebody to get pregnant and then, you got a kid all involved, but that's a whole totally different situation. But yeah, like definitely at least like 18, 19 before you even consider.
But that's
Um,
not realistic.
and-
Well,
I'm
hey,
sorry.
hold on one second. Hey, Carlos, can I drop you down 1 second? Can I drop you down for
Go
one
ahead,
second,
go
real
ahead,
quick?
go ahead.
All right. Let me get Doc. Go ahead. What was you about to say, J1?
No, I'm just saying that's not realistic for these children nowadays. That's to be like, oh well, the age of the consent is 18, but that's not realistic. Then you're putting a whole
Why is
bunch of
that not
people in.
realistic?
Because when people are in high school, like let's say, okay, so it's a kid that's a dude, he's a senior, he's messing with a freshman. Okay, that's illegal. He should go to jail because he's messing with a freshman. She
That's
wants to mess with him, or vice versa. Like
that's
it's
the law
just
though.
not realistic. No, no, the law is not realistic. Like that's not
Statutory
realistic.
Okay,
rape,
A
you
so wait,
kid,
wait,
cannot
wait, wait.
be,
Hold on,
you
Erica.
cannot.
Hold on, Erica. Hold on, Erica. No, no,
stat,
no. Okay,
okay,
so J1, you got a point, right? But here's what I always ask. When somebody comes to me and they say, Anton, I want you to acknowledge something, or Anton, this is wrong, or this is wrong, whatever. I say, okay, cool. I've acknowledged it. Now I need you to give me a solution then. What is a
well,
minimum
well,
age
well. First of
for a
all,
person?
okay.
That's the thing. Like, that's my only problem with your argument, Jay, is that you're not giving me anything to replace it with. We can all say, okay, well, we don't care for this or whatever, so on and so forth. But give me a minimum age then.
All right.
Give me a framework or something.
First of all, listen, I'm an advocate. I'm a veteran, and I'm an advocate for veterans. And I just made a comment about like, yo, not for nothing. You can go to another country, get your head cut off, but at 18, but you can't have a drink. That's BS. I'm sorry.
Okay,
It's
so
a,
give me the
it,
framework. What should happen?
so when you
Specifically with regard to women, girls, and consent.
when you talk about women and girls, I don't know the exact age. I'm not a lawmaker, but when you talk about the age could should be 18, it's at third. Yeah, you're talking from an adult frame of mind. Like you're not understanding. Like yo, when you're in school with other people, you're intermingling with other people of different
I
ages,
went to school.
different. You know,
Listen, okay,
I'm
so I'll give you an
just
example.
saying.
I
And
went to
so,
I went to a school where it was 7th grade through 12th grade. Is it just because we go to school together that, because from my perspective, and maybe I was well developed, like I had a beard in high school when I was in 9th grade and everything, right? By the time I became a senior, the 9th and 10th grade girls looked like children to me. I mean, they was small, they was scrawny, they wasn't developed, and none of that, right? And so for me, it was like they look like nothings to me. I was like, slap them up, throw them in a locker, and keep it moving. How do you make sense of that? And then I want to also get
okay.
I also want to get Doc in too. But go ahead.
But on a lower scale, like I understand exactly what you're saying, but when you put it at a cutoff on the age is 18 and that's it, like you're not like it's unfair to the women too. It's unfair to the girls that are 14, 15, 16.
What's
So you
unfair to
mean
them?
they
how so?
What's unfair to them?
what could you? So you're saying that if they mess with a upperclassman that's in high school that's 17 or 18, that person's going to go to jail because they mess with them or because they like them? Like they're all
I think that
Yes,
they're in
I mean
school
kids.
to.
it's statutory
See, for
rape.
me, maybe,
That's
and again, I'm green.
No,
I,
first of
I
all,
say that they're in
okay,
school to learn. So for me, it's a little different. I'm not looking for my daughter to go to school to go to high school
but
and
it's
find a
not.
mate.
But okay,
I gotta make this
you
topic.
understand
I
that
gotta make that.
people are attracted. People are attracted to the opposite or whatever sex they are. It's not realistic that people are going to be with each other for 8, 9 hours a day and they're not going to be attracted to each other.
Yeah, but
And I
that's the
can't
whole
mess with
idea,
you
though, is
attraction
that
is
because
you
one
don't.
thing.
We
Going and
supposed to.
finding a place to sleep with. Oh, sorry.
We're
Go ahead.
supposed to move and teach discipline, right? We don't give in to the thing that we want to do, and that's where
yeah. Okay.
that's where
So
rearing
you're
is, right?
telling
Like I want to go jump on a freeway because I got a Porsche and do 120 miles an hour. That isn't my natural desire is to do that. But I know that it's not safe and it's going to affect other people. I can crash and kill somebody. I can kill myself. Whatever, right? It doesn't, just because you want to do something doesn't justify the action behind it, though, right? Or
I,
I'm off.
okay.
Well,
Let's
and then
put
the
this
other point
caveat
is
out
too
here.
is that you're sitting up here saying that it's unfair for younger women, or they're not even women, they're kids, they're girls. Period. Like
They're all
you're saying
kids.
it's unfair,
If you're 17, 18, you're still a kid.
right?
Stop.
But you're saying
Just
it's
So how do
unfair to
listen.
you?
put this
Okay, so
the
hold on,
age
y'all,
limit
hold
at
on.
They're
18.
all
But
It's
children.
not
then
making
if
no
she
sense to
Well,
gets
no,
me.
no, no, no.
pregnant,
Let him talk. Let him talk.
if she
I
gets
want to hear his
pregnant at
thoughts. Hold on, Erica. I'm gonna come to you.
it, oh, sorry,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
fam.
No, I just said that they're all children. Like, let's not like I just like the automatic vilifying of a dude just because he hit 17 or 18, like he knows more than a 15 or 14, 16-year-old. It's just
Well, nobody's
ridiculous.
vilifying. I said,
They're,
can you give
they're,
me a
they're,
solution?
I don't I don't
Listen,
have it.
you are a lawmaker. I don't want you to absolve yourself from it, because
I don't have it.
the reason why we vote is because we want the people that are in office to be a reflection of our values and what we believe. That's the whole reason why we vet the candidates. That's the reason why they have debates. It's the reason why we read their policies. You are the people that are making the policies is just a reflection of you, the lawmaker. So you are in control. Your voice counts. So I'm curious, and it's the reason why I keep asking this question. I'm curious as to what you think makes the most sense, because if you're waiting for something to happen to you, then that's the wrong way to go about doing it. I'd rather us have the conversation now so we can form what we want to happen instead of being reactive to what it is. I'm
Respect
coming to
that.
you right after this, Doc.
You know what I mean? I don't have the answers, but what I'm saying is that like the point of vilifying these kids that are in school, that are in the same school with other people, and having whatever interrelationship, whatever with them, whatever, to put them criminals because they're 17 or 18 is not right either. Like we have to have rights on both sides as far as men and women, and not for nothing, just to look at
You mean
these
girls and
kids
boys, not
like.
men and women? You mean girls and boys?
Well, yeah, they're all boys and girls. I'm saying both sides of boys and girls. That's what I'm saying. Like you're saying that, like, oh, these kids that just turned 17 or 18, they're not boys. Like when you talk about the conversation of 24-year-olds or 25-year-olds going to high schools, that's a different conversation altogether. Those are adults. But when you talk about children in the same school, that's a touchy gray area. in my opinion. And I don't have the answers. And not for nothing, I'm not gonna
You
say,
have an
oh,
opinion, you just don't want to share it yet. We'll come back to you in a second. Doc, what are your thoughts?
Can y'all hear me?
Well, I can hear you.
Okay. So my thoughts basically are discipline. Like before, I don't like going back in the days, but there was a system to tradition, and that system was to educate you on the society you were growing up in, the ailments and the needs of the society, and you were supposed to fill the needs and avoid the ailments. Put it like that. And when we come to our children, when they reach an age, I would say 12, because that's the age where they're able to actually have the conversation with you on a logical
You
level,
would say
where you
12
know
with
they
regard to what?
12 with regard to the talk and the start of educating them on these things, because now they're going to encounter them and be able to talk to you about them with levity and understanding at this age of maturity and also education.
Okay.
So you start to talk about basically the function of sex, not the point of sexuality, but the function. So they understand, okay, your body's about to go through these changes, and these are why these functions are happening. And this is going to be the outcome if this function happens. Your job is to, as the adult, is to educate them further, as long as you have them under your wing for whatever age, to avoid these ailments.
So
Now, being
do
sexually
you agree? Do you Jay that's here in the middle? Do you more closely align with his mindset that some women are, or some young girls, um, it's not necessarily an age as far as that determines the consent, or are you more of the mindset that it should be a minimum age as to what, when a girl can determine whether or not she want to rock with a guy or not? Doc, that's Doc. That's what Doc.
the consent, I would say adult 18, because let's be real, we don't let you make adult decisions for a reason before certain ages, because you're not, one, mentally developed, two, mentally mature and emotionally mature to actually approach situations in the manner they need to be approached to, no matter the want or need to involve yourself in that. A child doesn't pay bills because they don't have a whole encompassed mindset to be able to know why they got to pay bills and do this. They can't make legal decisions as far as medically, because they don't know the full scope and they're not mature enough to understand the full scope. So
Okay,
you need an
hold
adult.
on, Doc. Stay there. So, what do you think about that, Jay? What he just said.
Well, I can understand it, but it's not realistic because like you're not fully developed till you're like 25, 26. So people
Okay.
should not have sex before 25 or 26. Like you don't get your full brain until you're like in your mid 20s. So like I understand what you're saying, but it's not realistic for these kids nowadays, especially with the internet. You can't hide anything from your children now. You can't. You want to
So,
hide
what would you
sex.
propose?
You what? I don't have the
The,
answer to propose,
the
but all I'm
answer,
saying is that the reality of what's going on right now, we need to do something. We need to have different, you know what I'm saying, like mindsets or different, I guess, protocols for this. But you're not going to be able to stop a kid that's 12 or 13 that knows more about the internet than you do as an adult, because you got to work 18 hours a
Well,
day,
that's what
8 hours
parenting
a day,
does.
12.
that's parenting.
Yeah, but
Parenting,
Okay.
you
if you're involved in your child's life, and I do understand that things happen, because I mean, I didn't do anything prior to me being 18, but I was aware of a lot of things before I was 18. But it
Yeah.
also came, like, I was also able to have conversations with my mom and my dad about the things that I was seeing. And back then we didn't have the internet. We just had like a couple kids bringing Playboys and penthouses to the school and stuff like that. And we're
We
just
had
like, whoa, what's that? So, and
we
I
had
would say
also
to your point, I used to be a teacher, and 12 is too late. If you're starting an education about sex with your child at 12, is too late, because these kids are having sex at like, or being introduced to sex as young as like 5. So not
That's true.
necessarily. So you want to sit up there and do the education of what sex is and what can happen and all these other things regarding sex prior to that, but still, like, the consent, they're still like not. They might have more information than we do because of the internet, but it's still not a good idea for them to be having sex prior to that, because then again, we're talking about, and I keep bringing this up, but like, teenage pregnancy was a big old thing. And who's that responsibility falling back on for having reckless sex? It's falling back on the parents, it's falling back on the system, it's falling back on us as taxpayers. So that's why I'm saying, like, for me, I don't want to be taking the responsibility of paying for somebody else's child way over there because we decided that it was okay for them to have sex under the age of 18. No, when you can get a job, start paying bills, when you can start doing it, you can start doing that, applying for whatever you want to apply for, then, y'all can have that, like, physical
But that's not
conversation and
realistic.
learn. Why is it not?
That's not. It's not. It's because it's not what we're living in right now. That's not the reality.
That's because we
People are
don't
not
have the
going to
different
stop not having
stop
sex before 18. They're not going to wait till
That's
18
not
to
true
have sex.
because this generation has the highest rates of virgins than any other generation ever. Our
That is
generation, the
true.
90s, was when it was going
That's
out of
true.
control. This generation right now is not
That's
having
a
sex
fact.
like that.
That is a fact.
That's a fact, bro.
Well, then what you're saying is then it's working. So then there's not a problem then if that's the case.
Nobody said that
No,
it's
there's still
fixed,
an
but
issue,
they
but it's
said
still,
that.
but go ahead.
What you're saying, if there's still a problem, then that it's not working and people are having sex before 18.
Okay,
But
so
is it
Bottom
wait,
line.
wait. So
So
let me break down your argument a little bit.
not arguing.
The student loan debt crisis, right? It's a problem. People are continuing to get degrees or they're getting educated in fields that is not relevant and is not going to make them any money. We know what the solution is. We know that there shouldn't be student loans. You shouldn't be able to take out student loans or whatever, right? All of us have a proposed solution. And let's just say, for example, they completely absolved it today and they paid off all of the student loans, which means that it's no longer a problem, but it's still an issue that would arise, right? We have poor people, we have education, and you can give people all of the keys, right? We have casinos and we can say people shouldn't gamble, but it's still going, we know what the solution is, but the problem still exists. So I think that what we're trying to say is that just because we have issues don't mean that we're not trending in the right direction. You see what I'm saying? Just because something is still an issue, or it doesn't make it go away. So it makes it somewhat of a disingenuous argument to say that just because you're trending in a different direction and a more positive direction doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying, you absolve yourself of a problem.
Well, I mean, I'm not absolving us of the problem or the issue. But what I'm saying is that to be able to cut it off and say that, okay, 18 is the cutoff. And because most times, 9 times out of 10, the male who may be a child himself is considered the predator or the aggressor in this and that third when it's mutual. Like, if you want to get into a whole different argument when you want to talk about
Should an
statutory
18-year-old
rape,
guy that's still in high school be able to talk to a 13-year-old that's in high school?
no.
Why
No.
not?
No.
Why not?
Well, on my level, that's probably too young. That's
based
ridiculous.
off of your argument. But what I'm asking you is, how do you determine what's too young? Because what you're saying is that maturity,
but none of us can
and
determine what I'm saying.
Wait. You're saying that maturity and development is part of the reason why you determine why somebody should or shouldn't be able to do something. How do you say no in that example?
That's why it's such a delicate topic, because no way would I would say an 18-year-old should mess with a 13-year-old. But
why? He's still in high school. She just became a freshman. Their birthdays is set up to where she's going to turn 14 at a certain time. And maybe she turns 14 in December and he turned 18 in January.
If they were with each other and they were friends all of these different years, it's all different situations. Like, if you guys are all in the town,
is there a circumstance
right?
where you can see that would make sense?
All right. So if you guys are all in the town, right, and the male is not 18 yet, right? He's 16. She's whatever age, and they have brothers and sisters in common. They're always hanging out with each other. What you mean?
She's mature.
Age?
No. Hold on. Wait, D-Dan.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
she's mature for her age. She's mature for her age.
It's not even about mature for her age. It's that, like, you live in a town and they all buddy all day for years, but they're different ages and stuff like that. And then they end up messing with each other. You known them for years in the town. They always hang out with each other. They're always with each other for years, and you've seen them in the town. You know both of them. You're cool with them. You're cool with their families, and this and the third. And they end up messing with each other. You're gonna say something because of his age or her age? No, you're not.
I'm
You're
not.
not.
I'm not gonna say
No,
something
no
when an
one's
18-year-old boy that's known my daughter in the same town for years, and he tries to talk to my 13-year-old daughter.
14 or 12. Since he was
Wait. Hold
14
on.
or 12.
Yep. Since they was 14 or whatever, however old they are. You telling me I wouldn't say something when if a boy tried to say something to my daughter because I've known him since he was young? Absolutely, I would.
He's been over your house every
Boy,
day
bitch.
for 5,
Hey,
6 years.
that
You know
fucked
his
me up right
caliber.
here,
Hold
man.
on. Hold on. No. Let's fan this out.
Okay, cool.
So
Let's fan it out.
You've known this kid. He's been over your house for 7, 8 years. However young he's been, you know his family. You know his lineage. You know how he is. Whatever his pedigree. Is the
Yeah.
age really matter? Are you serious?
Yes, the age
Yes.
matters for me.
Yes, age
For me,
matters, player.
Well, okay. Well, listen, respect to you. That's what it is. But most people in towns are not doing all of that. If they know the dude's a stand-up dude, and not on some crazy. We watch too many shows, too many A&E investigations, and all this other stuff about sad stuff, and all this other stuff about age, and oh, he's a criminal, he's evil, and this, that, and third. We're vilifying a whole bunch of people, but if people been rocking with each other, male or female, regardless of the age, for years, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna jump on a
What age
goalpost
though?
and yell.
Define what age then. Define the age.
Well, listen. Well, the age, it
No, no,
doesn't
no, no,
even
no, no,
matter
no.
the age.
Define the age.
No, I'm not defining any age. I'm just saying, person that you know
How
in
you
the
making an
town.
argument? You ain't define the age because
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing. I'm having a
Okay,
discussion.
define the age
Y'all
so
want to
so I get a
argue?
clear understanding because
No,
this ain't
nobody's
sounding right.
arguing. Nobody's arguing. We're just kicking it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I'm just
saying?
saying like
You
what
think I'm
age?
arguing with you?
No, I'm not. You said you put your
I mean,
argument.
I'm not
I'm not
trying to say
arguing either.
argue. I'm trying to say define the age because define the age. What you're talking about? Like what is the age between the young man and the
Oh,
young woman?
okay. So
I'm
all
trying to
right.
define it.
So the kid just turned 18 because now for
The
some
boy,
reason.
the male, right? The boy, right?
Well, okay. All right. Well, let's get it. So basically, for some reason, it's the guy that's always older, and it's the woman that's not older. Like if that doesn't happen every day in the news all day, like women are
Okay,
freaking
okay, I get it.
looking,
I
having
get it.
sex, this and third. So for some reason, it's the guy. So let's say it's the guy. He just
He's
turned
18 years
18,
old.
but
Okay.
he known the girl for about 10 years. She's 5
And
years
how
younger
old?
than
Hold
him.
on. How old is she? Like what? 14,
Well,
16,
whatever.
17?
5 years, 10 years, whatever age that's uncomfortable for you. It's that age. How about that?
Okay, cool.
Whatever
Wait. So
age
we're gonna frame
younger.
this. She's 13, he's 18. Go.
No. He just turned 18, but they
Okay, he
known each
just
So
other
turned
for a
18.
decade.
Wait. He just turned 18. She 13. Go.
Okay. So basically, they've known each other for a decade or a decade plus or whatever. You know what I know? If she's 13, yeah, that's a little bit too much. For me, how I'm saying it. But if they known each other for 10 years and you know they like each other in a town, like you know who likes each other, who rocks with each other, this, then, and the third, and then he's 18, and then as they get older, they start being closer to each other. You really gonna call the cops on that person?
Yes.
You're
No,
calling the
maybe not
cops on
call the
him?
cops, but probably
He's
have her
he's a
have the
No,
father
I'm
no,
just
beat
no, no,
ass
no.
because
Listen.
listen.
I'm
Okay,
coming
listen.
over there with my pistol.
If all right,
yep,
hold
I
player,
was
up.
about to say
player.
father's showing
I'm
up.
coming over
Hey,
there with
listen,
my
listen, listen,
pistol,
listen.
and we
Hey,
about
hey,
to have
player.
some uncomfortable
Hey,
furniture
Listen,
moved
hold
I'm
over
not
on.
there.
just
Listen,
listen.
hold on. Let me
And I'm
interject.
calling the cops afterwards.
I don't
I'm
have any
listening.
kids and I'm 29, right? I went to prison at 17 years old. It was niggas in there was 17, 18 was statutory having have a relationship with a 14-year-old that the mama knew about that the daddy fucked up or the mama that put charge on to say, well, she consented. The mama say, oh no, she was 14. You was 18. Or you was 17.
That's right. Is that to you, right? That kid, 18-year-old, deserves to go to jail.
For
Yo,
fucking
In
a
your
13,
opinion.
hold on,
14 year old?
wait. Pause. What up, soul son?
What's good? What's good? I had to check in. I'm
Yes
watching
or no?
live.
You're not
I don't
Yo,
know
answering
if
how?
me.
you remember me. I used to work at Little Caesars
Yeah,
at the basketball arena and stuff.
yeah, I
But
know.
yeah, this
Yo,
this
hold
is
on,
a
wait. What
tricky.
up, though, bro? How you feel?
Woo. What up, though? Yo, this is a
Hey,
woo.
so hold on, how many games was I not at every game, bro?
He was at every game. Him and his wife. Know what I mean, him and his wife at the first level.
Yeah, don't we ain't even gonna go there. All right, so what's your thoughts, soul son? What's your thoughts, big dog?
See, it's weird because like I was typing in. Know what I mean, so I would say it's more of an age range.
Uh-huh.
There has to be an age gap because it gets a little messy because it depends on how people raise, and ultimately the answer it comes down to the parents and then the community. You know what I'm saying? Because the parents knows how they raise their child or if their child is developed enough for whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So you gotta have that conversation with your child, when you feel it's appropriate enough time about sex. And most of the time when people talk about an age limit, they thinking about lust. So they're not even thinking about the everything else that go along with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mhm.
think it mainly come down to the parents, but then also it's like you got to think about arranged marriages. That's how it was back in the day, or certain communities, whether it was a well-developed community, a third world community, or an isolated community. But it depends on the parents and the community. It should be like a 2.5 age gap. Like if it's in high school, if she's 15, the most he could be is 17, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Or 2 years in between, or something like
Yeah,
that.
but
But I
you
couldn't
can't
say
gauge that though.
I can't
You
gauge with
can't.
one number.
What if they love each other? Like Anton, what if you know this dude love your daughter? What if you know he love your daughter, ready to marry her,
At
ready to
18
What
and
be
his
like,
Well,
daughter
let
love
yo,
him
old
got
as
to
marry
baby?
her
hell.
do with it?
first.
What
Let
does
him marry
love
her
got to
first and
do
do the
with it?
right thing. Don't. Yeah, let him marry her first.
Wait,
Look,
wait,
hey,
wait,
hey,
wait,
hey,
wait. You
hold on.
want
I
me
gotta
to
interject. I gotta interject.
wait.
So I'm just saying.
Do you think that they even truly understand what love is?
Right. Love
No,
is an
no.
emotion.
Well, I gotta answer that. There's some people that marry they freaking this their freaking high school sweetheart and be married for 40, 50 years and be good. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was something that was real or something that was true. But you're a testament to that yourself. You got married at 22. You still going and happy as shit.
Yeah, what I got to
Happy as
do with an
shit.
18? Wait. 22.
What?
What they
What?
gotta
What?
do with an
What?
18 and 13, 14
22.
year
Hold
old
on.
though?
Time out.
Yeah, that's too
22
big
and
of a
18
gap,
ain't that
bro.
far apart. Stop.
No.
But they
22.
legal
But
though.
wait. 22 and 18 talking to a 22 and 18. My wife is literally exact same age as me. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying. At that age, you like people can find love at that age. What I'm saying
Okay,
is that you could
That's
I
you could
would
be like,
circumstantial
at
though.
22, I would be hard pressed to be talking to a 17-year-old.
yeah, but it's the individual. It's up to the individual. What
So
I'm
okay,
saying
so
is,
wait, let's frame that. Is it cool do you think that a girl is of sound mind and maturity to be able to at 17 make a determination of whether or not she want to talk to a 22-year-old?
none of us are. None of us are.
What do you mean?
17, 18, 22, this and that,
What
third.
if
Your mind is
he
not
loves
developed like
her
that.
and she loves him? No.
Well, then go ahead and make that happen. Hopefully it works out.
But she in the 11th grade though.
Okay. I know people that got married in the 11th grade and still together.
You know somebody that got married in 11th grade.
Yeah.
So are we talking about
11th
No,
grade
marriage
in
or
high
are we
school?
talking about
on top of
lust?
that,
We talking about
Wait,
relationship
wait,
with the
wait,
person
wait,
or
wait
are
a
we
minute.
talking
Wait a
about
minute, y'all. Wait a minute. You know somebody that got married in the 11th
sex?
grade in high school.
yeah, they're older. They're not my generation, but they're older.
I won't say married, but I know it was some grown people. I know it's a security guy I was in school with.
No,
He
no,
was
no, no,
fucking
no, no,
on
no,
this.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about in modern like now.
No,
Like
I never
within let's
seen
say
that.
within the last 20 years, you know somebody that's gotten
No,
married
not the
to
last 20 years. I didn't say that.
Nah, that's
Okay,
old
but
school.
wait, but
No,
still at the same time, you're like, yo, he love her, she love him. Let it rock, right?
you're smart. First of all, you're a really smart dude. If a dude is around you, if a dude is around you for years,
I am a
and you
C
know his
student.
caliber.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I am a
I,
lifetime C student. I am not that smart, big dog.
come on, all right, come on, all right, AD, all right, whatever, AD.
No, real
Anyway,
talk.
if a
Seriously.
dude is around you, if a dude is around you, like you can check a dude's temperature within 10 minutes. If a dude's around you for years, you know his family, you know his lineage, you know this and the third or whatever. You know he's on the up and down. What does it really matter the age of him if he really wants to do right by your daughter? Like stop.
Yes, yes,
As
yes,
as as,
yes,
as
Yeah,
opposed
yes.
it
to
depends,
as
bro. Young is
listen,
Yes, it
young, though. You
as
can't say
matters.
opposed
young ain't
to
young.
as
I don't know.
opposed to somebody that's her exact age that you don't know at all or their family.
I don't have to accept either one of them.
You don't.
Right.
But I'm saying you would be more inclined to
Why
know
do I
the
have to
person that's
Parents
accept
got the
around
one
you.
or the
last
other?
call.
All right, this shit done. Well, you gonna hit anyway. It don't make a difference. All right, whatever. I feel
No, I'm just saying, if she love him and he love her,
you.
let
You
it
can't do
rock,
nothing
right?
about it.
Huh?
What you gonna do about it? You can say what you want to say, but not for nothing. Well, I'm listen,
That's
and I'm not saying
circumstantial,
that.
though. Circumstances.
All right,
Because that don't happen
finish
all
what
the
you.
time. That don't happen all the time. We
You're
speaking
right.
generally. Like, what could be a generally, and we speaking, yeah, we got to put everything in context. We talking about 2022 children, not when we was
But
kids right now.
but what I'm
You know
saying
what I
in
mean?
context is to say that the consent is 18 is not realistic. It's not.
I
It's not
mean, I
realistic in
wouldn't
this
say
day and age.
anything. That's why I
You said
said
the
a little
consent is
age gap
not.
in between how old the people
See,
are.
well, you
You
talking to
know
me
what I'm
though,
saying?
so I'm different. So I'm gonna absolve myself from this conversation because I believe consent comes with marriage. I don't believe that just because you're 18 you should be having
That's a
sex.
whole different
I'm
ball
I'm
game.
I'm 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 considerate of the idea that other people think differently from me, which is one of the reasons why I have these conversations on these panels, right? So that's a is different. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe that a woman should be having sex until she get married anyway. So it's a difference for me. So you don't want to take my opinion into consideration. That's why I'm asking you,
No,
right?
I'll take
Because your
everybody's.
experiences are different from my experiences. My wife is much different, right? Than what you've seen women growing up in these environments. And so based off of what you think, right? If he love her, it don't matter if she 13, 14, he 18, whatever. Listen,
Nah, I didn't say that either. Listen, it's a slippery slope. It's a gray area that I don't know how to circumvent all of that. I don't know all the answers. I'm just a man observing what I've observed as a kid when I was in school, and the women that were the young ladies or the girls or whatever that were entertaining or enjoying older men, they were not upset. They
are
were
you
not.
single? Are you single in a relationship,
Yeah,
married?
yeah.
You single?
No, I'm single. I'm
Uh,
single right now. Newly
do you
single.
mind? Do you mind? You don't have to answer any question. How old are you?
I'm 41.
41. What's the lowest age that you would talk to a woman?
Right now, probably maybe 29, 28.
Okay. Yeah,
Really,
somebody
if
super
you want to
chatted
be,
and asked. I wanted to know what was the youngest that you would rock with.
if you want to be honest, I mean, but like I said, there's outliers and stuff like that. But I'm not really trying to go lower than that. You know what I
Lower
mean?
than
Just
Outlier.
29. You said lower than 29.
really,
He said
I'm,
outliers.
What's the
What?
outliers?
Never mind.
I'm sorry about saying that word, but I'm just saying, like
You
you
ain't
have
gotta be sorry.
exceptions
You
to
didn't
the
say
rule.
nothing wrong. Shoot, we just want the context behind why you said what you said.
You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, but I mean, I'm not. I don't have like a list of whole bunch of she has to do this, that, and the third, all that other list.
What if she's 21, but she's really mature? I mean, she's focused, she's mature, she's ready to be a wife. Would you rock with her?
If I don't know a family, I'm not doing
You know her family then.
it. No, probably not. That's just me personally. I don't know
I
if
mean,
it's
that's
right or wrong.
cool.
No,
D
not,
Dan, what are your
not.
thoughts?
Um, I don't think the consent age definitely should be 18. Just because a 14 and 13-year-old consent to sex, that don't make it right for an 18-year-old boy or a 19-year-old to be fucking on a 13, 14-year-old. You
I
know,
say it was right.
I think that's I mean, let's keep it 100. I was in school. I was in high school when one of my classmates was pregnant by the security guard. Everybody didn't know it until after she graduated out of high school. After she had the 1-year-old kid, they was living together, and come to find out, well, I knew the young lady. You know, her mom was a crackhead. She was hitting the pipe. Daddy wasn't around, but I knew the security guard mom because she stayed in the area, and I saw them together one day when I was on the block. I'm like, what the hell? Like, wait a minute, that's some sick ass shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he basically took her in because she had no mom or dad, but that didn't make it right though, neither. Just like I don't believe a 17-year-old should be going to no county jail, even though matter of fact, they just changed that law a couple of years ago that they're not allowed to house no 17-year-old in no damn adult facility. You know, so
But why not though? Because okay, so no. I understand what you're saying, D-Dan. But why not if the 17-year-old is mature enough to be able to be housed in a facility with grown men? How do we put an age restriction on certain things, but then don't put an age restriction on other things?
you know what, me personally, because I was 17 in the county jail with you know what I'm saying. And there's also a bunch of 17, 16-year-olds with a shitload of time. They just made another law about that saying that it's illegal to sentence somebody that's in a teenager to 50 years or better.
I'm
So
just,
I
but
guess
wait a minute. But what if they're mature enough to actually have made the decision, consciously to do what they wanted to do? Does that change the narrative?
me personally, I don't believe that. I don't believe that changed the narrative. But
Why not though? Because it changed the narrative when it comes to consent of sex, according to Jay.
It's different.
Why is it different? Is what I'm asking.
Crime.
How do we pick and choose when to apply a minimum requirement
I think it all need
versus
to be on. Me personally, I'm gonna just keep it like this. I think what it's due for one thing need to happen for all things. It don't need to be as
correct?
essential as
I agree.
14. It don't
No,
need to
We
be
on the same
essential
page, but
as
no.
no.
But
now. I'm gonna be
wait.
honest with
Well,
you.
hold on,
I'm
D-Dan. We
okay.
we agree on that. I agree
Yeah,
with you.
absolutely.
I think that consistency needs to happen across the board. But Jay is
Not
saying no.
just
Jay, why would you say no, my friend?
All right. So you're saying that somebody, right, that was messing with somebody that may not be the appropriate age by what's the name, society standards or whatever, had consensual sex with somebody, was in a relationship, their family was okay with it and everything like that, and just because of age, what is saying third, he goes to jail. He should go to jail for years with murderers, killers, real rapists, real robbers, and stuff like that, off of statutory rape. Nah, I don't
Yes.
think so.
Yes.
Actually,
No, no,
okay. Let me tell
sorry,
you this. You
don't agree.
talking to a
Yes.
guy that been in prison.
Listen,
Don't
A
bro.
agree.
lot of
Listen.
dudes who had statutory got
Listen.
fucked up in jail.
If a dude
Don't agree.
walk up and he's 18, 19 years old.
They don't get a much load of
Hold
time for
on,
statutory.
D-Dan. Hold on.
I'm sorry, my
This
bad.
is my perspective. If a dude walk up and he
Okay.
18, 19 years old and he busts down a 12-year-old and she consented and she mature and she all filled
You're
out.
going extreme.
Okay, 13-year-old.
That's not extreme.
That's extreme. That is extreme.
That's not extreme.
13-year-old, 14-year-old. Tell me when to stop.
14, 15. Dude, I've been a bouncer for years, and not for nothing. There's 14,
Oh,
15-year-old chicks. I don't know how that's funny, but there's 14, 15-year-old chicks that in the club lying about their age all day. So the dudes that's in the club, that's freaking 18, 19 or whatever shit like that, messing with chick in a 21 and up club, gets hit with statutory rape, goes to jail. Now he has to be with real killers, real gangsters, real this, that, and third. That's fair for that dude? Really?
End of the
I
day,
don't think so.
predator is a predator.
He's a
You know what I'm
predator.
saying?
Hold up.
That's a
Listen. All right. Listen to
predator.
what you just said.
Look, you know the
I
bro,
just
listen to what
no.
you just said. Listen to what you just said. You know the
Mm.
underage girl is not even supposed to be in that environment.
No.
But
That's not what I said.
wait. Here's
Nope.
the question.
Nope.
How do you
That's
know
not what I
that?
said.
How do you know?
That's
Wait.
not what I said.
You were a
You said
bouncer, right?
underage girl is in the club
Hold
and
on,
dudes be bagging
hold
them.
on, fam. You was a bouncer,
All
right?
right.
Yes, you was a bouncer. No.
Yes. Yes.
You knew of girls that was underage that was in the club.
No, I don't know that they're underage. What I'm saying is there are a lot of chicks that go into clubs and dress up and act like they may have the full body of an adult, but they come in there with fake IDs and they want to be older and this, that, and the third. And a dude that works, busts his ass all day, every day at a job, is going to a club that's 21 and up. 21 and up. And so he can assume that even though you should check IDs of whoever you're messing with, he just assumes, well, okay, I'm messing with her, she's cool, this, that, and the third, and she says whatever she says, lying to him, this, that, and the third. They have a relationship for a year and a half, and then when she catches an attitude or what,
Wait a minute. You cannot have no
This
relationship
is
with no
ridiculous.
15-year-old for a year and a
Right.
half and not be able to identify that this hussy is 15 years
Oh
old.
my
Right.
God.
Exactly. Yo,
well,
just the fact that
no,
we all
because
went
you're
to
in it.
high school with
No,
different age groups
because
of people, we should know
You
you're in
how
it
to
telling
though.
differ.
me that
Because you saying
you could be in a relationship with a girl and she could convince you.
that. Not me.
You're
So what are
lying
you
to
It,
talking
yourself,
hap-
about?
homie.
it happens. What I'm saying is
That
that
they in
it happens.
relationships with a chick for a year and a half and she 15 and he don't know?
It don't have to be a year and a half. It could be a week. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be
For
a week,
3 days.
a month, or 3 days. And then freaking what's that? Parents find out they want to press charges on the dude because he's an adult. But he
Nah,
met her in a
that
21
nigga
and
was
up club.
thirsty. He was thirsty.
Why does he have to be thirsty? Like you
Cause
first
he
of
didn't
all,
go. He didn't
if
have
you run
discipline
back this
enough to find
conversation,
out.
if you run back this conversation, you'll see how like it's so vilifying the dude. It's vilifying the dude and the man in the situation, and he could be just as just naive as a woman is or a chick is at 17 or 18 or 19.
It doesn't make it right.
Period. It doesn't.
Doesn't make
No,
it right.
none of it is right. I'm agreeing with you. None of it is right,
That's
but it's
all.
what
That's all.
it
That's the
is.
main point.
What
Everybody's
is
just trying to
right?
make.
What is
What?
right?
No,
Frank,
no.
give me a
I
no. And it's the thing I was trying to get you to answer in the first place. What is the framework for right? Give me a minimum requirement that people can understand. Because if you leave people to their own devices, they're gonna make the wrong decision. We both agree on that. But what I'm asking you is that what is the baseline in your opinion? I'm not saying that it's law. I'm not saying that we're gonna go and change the law based off of what Jay says. I'm asking you to give me a general framework of what right looks like.
said, man, what? 15, 16? Maybe, but even then, you got some chicks that are 15, 16 that are not really coherent upstairs too. What I'm saying is that you putting freaking people in jail that were having relationships with people that they thought were of age or may have been younger or whatever in jail with real killers, real criminals, and it's then a third and saying that oh that's justifiable. Fuck that. He messed with somebody that was under 18. He messed with somebody that was under 14, it was 15, 16 or whatever. Like, these people are not criminals, they're not predators. They're just people.
Yeah, it is.
They're just
All they gotta
people
do
in
is
life.
go to
If
a
a
different section
man
of the
is
Just
with
jail.
just
Don't put
look
it
at
in
somebody,
the
Okay,
population.
let me interject
if
here.
Don't
Okay,
put
let
it
me
in
okay,
just
population
look,
look
though.
at
look.
the
It's to the jail, and that goes for women that take advantage of younger boys also. So I don't want
but
you
they
to
don't
think
yep,
get
it's
put in
just that we
jail.
try to
No, they don't.
vilify
They
yes
don't
they
really get
do.
put in
a
jail like
boy.
that.
Yes
No,
They
no,
don't get
no.
they
vilified like
do.
that. They don't get vilified like men do.
No,
They don't.
what I'm saying right now is I'm trying to let you know that we're not just talking about me personally saying I'm not just talking about the men to make you seem like it goes for women also that take advantage of young boys because that is
I
something
agree.
that happened.
That happens a lot.
I agree.
Okay, listen, let me interject on that, right? Uh damn what the fuck I was about to say. It's different when a young boy talking to a young woman and the young woman lies about her age and then the parent get on some I think that do falls back on the parent because it be situations like, he'll let the mama or if the dad come with a special say, hey, look, sir, your daughter lied about her age. I didn't really know. She lied about her age and you know what I'm saying? You can't, as a parent, you can't get mad at an 18-year-old. He was fucking your 14-year-old daughter and your daughter lied about her age and he don't know. And so I think a lot of, so on
You're
one
gonna
sense,
learn
I think a
today.
lot of parents,
He gonna learn
I think, yeah,
today.
you'll learn. Yeah, in the hood, you'll ask to
Happens
learn
all the
today.
time.
But
He
in
gonna
certain
learn
situations, but hold on,
today.
but yeah, in certain situations, I think a lot of, especially fathers, I think a lot of fathers need to check their daughter, pay close attention to their daughter with the shit they get into.
Yeah.
I agree. Two things can be true at the same
So
time. Man,
now,
you
me
do need to
personally,
be
do I think
responsible for taking care of your kids and making sure that they doing what they
because
Right.
supposed to
let's
do. Absolutely, I
because
don't
let's
disagree
be
with that.
so look, let's keep it 100
That
now.
don't change
Let's keep
nothing
it
though.
real.
You gonna learn
No,
today.
it don't change. No, it don't change for you
Mhm.
getting fucked up, man. But let's keep it 100 though. A lot of situations, a lot of cases like that you see that's going on, it's always happening in single mother households. It don't never happen when it's a two
Again.
parent household.
Right.
Even if it, say for instance, if a man was in the household, if he was the quote unquote stepdaddy, and the stepdaddy allow that going on, that is a major problem. That mean he don't
Red
even. That
flag.
mean he has no connection to the kid. Let's be 100. That
Listen,
shit
y'all,
only
y'all,
happen in
y'all
single mother
are y'all are
households.
framing this as though we don't know. We don't know that this stuff goes on every single day in which that stepfather is already lusting after that little girl in the first place.
And
See, these are
I'm gonna tell
these
you,
are
That
the
happens too.
nope. These are the uncomfortable conversations that don't nobody want to have. Right? How can he protect her and he's the predator?
Right.
Right.
facts.
He
You
probably
you
trying to
How
groom
can they
her.
protect them? And the uncle is the one that's listen. By the time that most of these girls and guys, not just women, girls and guys, by the time that they mature to a certain age, they've already had experiences within their own family from an uncle, from somebody that's already doing it. And the reason why,
and you
in
know
my
what the sad
personal
part about it?
opinion, is because we have no standards. And because we have no
Right.
standards, we look to
Mhm.
protect people from the
Mhm.
law, or we look to protect them from the consequences because we have a personal connection with them instead of setting a
Mhm.
baseline to help people to understand you fuck up, you getting fucked up. And that's the way it goes.
Right.
You got to
That's
set a
how it
Right.
goes.
baseline because if people feel like they can get away with it, then they're going to do it.
And hold on, I'm gonna tell you something else, Anton, to add on to that. Not only these dudes getting fucked up because it's been some. Listen, it's been some stepfathers that we fucked up that we knew who was foul. Not only that, the mothers need to be held accountable too, because it's a lot of women who I interact with every single day, and even my own mom. My own mom went through that own personal trauma with her stepfather. I'd have shot his motherfucking brains out. The mother allowed that to happen. Hey, ma, he touched me a certain way. You a motherfucking lie. What?
Yeah.
So your
I have
9-year-old
friends
kid
that happened
tell
too.
you enough? Huh?
I said I have friends who've told me stuff like that.
That
That a
listen,
lot of
it's a
insecurity from just not want to be alone.
it's a
Mm-hmm.
listen, it's a lot of situations I have saw in my personal life coming up in the hood that the mom was like, "Hey, he ain't touch you," or they now the mom have a fucked up relationship with their daughter because something what the stepfather did.
Mhm.
Come on,
They
we
go
got to be
they
real
go
about that.
outside the house and search for that male
Yeah,
attention. And
Mhm.
okay,
we all know the cycle. We know the
but that's
cycle.
not
It's
the
about
majority.
knowing so you could do something about it and preventing it. You know what I mean? Having
Like the
discipline.
whole R. Kelly
Not even
situation. As
not
I go
even
back to say
lusting.
earlier.
Because at the end of the day, that's all lusting. Like if you're not even if you like I was that's why I was saying that's when you thirsty. When you thirsty, you will have sex
Yeah,
with
usually with
any
a dude. Yeah,
age,
you.
any shape,
Yeah,
any
see,
color. You know what I'm
and
saying?
that shit can
You're
get
not
you, and
thinking
that
you're
shit can
not in
get you
your right
fucked up. That
mind.
shit get you in trouble
You know
because
what I'm
listen,
saying? So
when you
you
go in
gotta
prison, when you
take a
get
step
locked up,
back and think about the whole picture. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Before you
because
make that, decision. Don't be thirsty. Be
Listen,
yeah,
I'm
hydrated.
going to just
because
say this,
what
bro.
happens?
I want y'all to give y'all final thoughts. Go ahead, D-Dan. Go ahead, D-Dan. Do your thing.
What needs to happen? I think a lot of adults need to start listening to these children's story and take action on to it. That's just my take because sometimes it don't never make it to the law. It need to be a community effort. Need to take action to it. If you see a kid that you see every day, you know it's something going on in that household. And let me tell you something about these kids in today's time. They tell the law. We cannot sit here as adults and say, "Hey, we're gonna ignore that because." that's not my child, or that's none of my business what goes on in the household. It
Mm.
need to be your business if that child getting touched on and the mom ain't saying shit. That's my final thought. I'm gonna let y'all rock out.
Thanks, D Dan. Anybody else?
Yes. I did cringe a lot in this conversation. A lot of stuff came out.
I was looking
But
at your
we
facial
did.
expressions.
But yeah, I agree with Dedan. Like, we do need to get back to a village mentality. That's how I was raised. I could not, me and my brothers could not do anything in the neighborhood without like it getting back to my mom, my grandparents, um, nothing. So, I mean, we really definitely need to get back to that. And if we really are about rebuilding the community and supporting it, then we really have to be willing to let go of things that don't benefit us at all, and especially when it involves our children. That's my final thoughts.
All right. What's your final thought, Soul Son? I'm gonna say the best
Thanks
for
for letting me
last.
get up on here. First off, but I say we just need to be more community based, like everybody else is saying, and stop being selfish. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're gonna be selfish, treat people how you want to be treated, and be selfish in that way. I'm gonna leave it at that.
And the king,
Well,
Jay.
I mean, what I'm gonna say about it first off, I don't think that anybody, you know what I'm saying. First of all, we're talking about the most of the conversation was talking about children that are under 18, and not for nothing, that's a great area because not for nothing, kids need to be protected on both sides. And all I'm saying is that we need to just pay attention to both sides of the coin because you sometimes we'll say we vilify the boy in the situation because he's the man because not for nothing, he's the man in the situation, even though he's a boy. But not for nothing, it's a gray area, and it's sometimes it's not a villain. It's just people in situations when they're under 18. Now, as far as someone being 24, 25, going to a high school and this and that, third, I don't agree with it at all. But some of these young girls in fifth and third or whatever, I've been there personally. I've taught them, and they were having a great time until it got bad. And then they wanted to what's it? Then they wanted to talk about it's like it's messed up. Oh, he doing this and that third da 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 da. Nah, but for a long time you was like, yeah, it's my boyfriend. He give me money. He doing this and that third da 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 da. Blah 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 blah. It's both sides of the coin. And when you talk about statutory rape, in my opinion, is not rape. I'm sorry. If you have a consensual sex with somebody, regardless of the age, is not rape. Rape is
Hold on,
taking somebody
wait. Be
that's a
careful with the. Hold
person.
on. Be careful with the R word.
I'm grape.
YouTube.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. So grape, basically, man or woman, you rolling up and taking them physically and doing something to them physically that they don't want. That
Regardless of age.
they're
Regardless of
not bringing. They're
age.
not in. Regardless of age,
Hmm.
regardless of sex, regardless of gender, statutory rape, statutory rape is not the same, in my opinion. And I think that in the law courts, we need to really change that structure because when you talk about a person that took care of somebody, was really nice to somebody at whatever age or whatever, they got convicted of something, and they're in a jail with real killers, real murderers, real robbers, real people in the system that do real things. I don't think it's the same. That's just my humble opinion. I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to do great things out here, and I believe that everybody needs to be protected on both sides, men and women.
All right, listen, I appreciate
That's just
y'all.
my
Anton is here to give the platform for us to have the conversations. I feel like this is the greatest morning show on earth. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, my friends.
All right,
Thank
I
you,
appreciate it.
Anton.
apologize if my
Appreciate
opinion is
everybody on
not.
here.
No, you listen.
Bye.
Yo, Jay. I'm not here to. You don't have to apologize ever, bro. Like it's your opinion. We have civil discourse. We're not here for everybody. Everybody not going to agree with everybody. Everybody don't agree with what I say. You feel how you feel. It's your
Well,
opinion.
because my whole thing is that I think that we're calling our conversations and our discord with each other arguments too much. I don't think that's an argument. I think that people are afraid to have these conversations. I think that people are afraid to disrespect people, or even regular conversation. They think that it's disrespectful to have a different opinion, and I don't think it's that. And I don't think that us You know what I'm saying? Like us having these conversations is arguments. I don't think it's an argument. I think it's
I
just,
don't think it's an argument either.
conversations that people don't usually have, that are usually, in a barbershop or wherever they're at. And not for nothing, like this, I'm pretty sure that my opinion, your opinion, everybody else's opinion on the panel is what a lot of people think every day, but they just don't get a chance to express it. And I don't think that people are bad. People are evil for expressing their opinion. And I'm never arguing with nobody. If I have a conversation with you or anybody on here, I'm not arguing to win a point. I'm just expressing what's on my mind so that we all have a different perspective or a different outlook on whatever issue or whatever subject that we're talking about. So that
Agreed.
we like, yo, you know what? I didn't think of it that way. I didn't look at it that way. This and the third. Because not for nothing, when we go into the court system and we in front of judges and we in front of lawyers and all that, it's a whole different ball game. And I think that like we're missing a whole lot of human interaction and people and community that's getting left out of that talk. It's getting left out of the talk, getting left out of the court system or whatever to make us be better as a community and better as people. Period. I'm gonna shut up.
No, I'm with that. Listen, I appreciate you for coming on and having a completely different perspective and sharing your thoughts. I appreciate it.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I love everything you're doing, all that good stuff, and we'll talk off here if you want. But I mean, just respect to everything that you're doing and respect to the people, because I believe that we, as far as women, men and women, we need to have these different conversations, because these thoughts, we working every day and we don't really have these conversations because we're too busy working, making money, and taking care of our families, and we don't really have these discords. So I think they're important.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, my friend, for coming up on the platform. Another show in the books. Listen, this is the greatest morning show on earth. Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Form your own opinions. I have my thoughts. I know me as a father. I'm protecting my daughter fiercely with my life. I don't care what society standards are. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what is normalized in society. I went through a whole breakdown of what we listen to and how we embrace the worst things for us, which is one of the reasons why I say that the culture is trash. But I love the fact that everybody can feel comfortable getting a opinion off and being able to have these uncomfortable conversations with me specifically. All right. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. We are going to have the most diverse show with the most diverse topics ever. Tonight on the other channel, Q&A, Q and Anton, we are going to be live streaming at 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. We are doing great things there. That link is in the description. And then last but not least, if you want to kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. Jay Brent is a mess, bro. Jay Brent is a mess. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you have a phenomenal morning. Share this with your friends and make sure you tell them that we are cooking over here on the Millionaire Morning Show and on Anton Daniels platforms. All right, but I need y'all to do me one more thing before we get up out of here. If I could ask you. Make sure you share this with your family and friends, because we don't want to be successful by ourselves. Uncomfortable conversations, we will not be censored, and we will have civil discourse. I love you. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace, family.